across to Reece James. I'll take you through the lineups in a moment. Interesting team news for Chelsea, particularly from a defensive position, because they've gone with the back three, but it's James, Koulibaly and Cucurella. They're without Fofana, they're without Thiago Silva, they're injured, but Badiashiel's on the bench, as is Chalobah, who of course can fill in there as well. So Chelsea knocking the ball around at the back with Koulibaly under pressure from Emi Buendia, and it pays off as it's given away to Douglas Luiz. And here comes Jacob Ramsey for Aston Villa. Was he fouled there by Enzo Fernandez? Yes, he was. 25 yards out. Good set-piece opportunity this for Aston Villa. But just on that team news, Danny, I mean, are you surprised with not necessarily the formation, of course, from Graham Potter, but the players that he's put into that back three?
Well, he always surprises me, Graham Potter. He's quite a difficult man to read in terms of what system he's going to play when you look at a starting 11, where certain players are going to play in different positions. And it is something you see quite a lot from managers now when they play a back three. They're quite happy to put full-backs into those centre-back positions, and I think the reason is because generally wide centre-backs are the players that see a lot of the ball the most, and they're a bit more comfortable in possession. So maybe that's the thinking of Graham Potter. Cucurella might see a lot of the ball to down this left-hand side, and maybe just the ability to drive into space and be more comfortable going into those midfield areas. Maybe that's why he's got the nod.
So free kick to Aston Villa. It's 30 yards out position. They take it from, swung in by Douglas Luiz. It's pour it straight into the arms of Kepa. So it's 3 changes in total for Chelsea as Havertz goes down just outside the centre circle, wins a free kick. Oh, that's not good news for Aston Villa. A very early card for Boubacar Kamara. Yellow, into the book he goes. He's returned from injury. That's one of their 2 changes. He's come in for Leon Bailey. Ashley Young has come in for the injured Matty Cash, but cliche, Danny, but tightrope walking for now.
Yeah, it certainly is. Knew exactly what he was doing there, Boubacar Kamara. Rifa Balaga with an excellent quick throw after taking the cross, looking to set Havertz away on the counter-attack, and it's just a cynical foul, just halting the progress there of Kai Havertz.
And he's limped away from making the challenge as well, Kamara, so possible slight knock there to go with the yellow card. Not ideal for the Aston Villa midfielder. Chelsea get us underway inside their own half. They've made 3 changes, so Mudryk, Cucurella and Loftus-Cheek are the players who come in. Fofana is injured, Pulisic and Badiashiel are on the bench. Pulisic came back from international duty with a heavy cold, said Graham Potter, so potentially why he is on the bench, as Koulibaly will come across and steer that ball out of his own penalty area. Nicely brought down the right-hand side by Loftus-Cheek for Chelsea. He's playing in this right wing-back position, well anticipated by Aston Villa, though. And Kamara will send it all the way back to Tyrone Mings. So, in terms of the formations, you've got Kepa in goal for Chelsea, the back three of James, Koulibaly and Cucurella, as Emi Martinez has it in his own penalty area for Villa. Ahead of them, it's Loftus-Cheek, Fernandez, Kovacic and Chilwell as Chelsea steal it. Mudryk, big save by Emi Fernandez, getting into a huge mix-up with Boubacar Kamara. And the Argentina #1, the World Cup winner, has to stand tall. And I'll tell you what, he's having to be separated here from Kamara. He is absolutely furious at the way that Aston Villa defended that inside their own penalty area. Save from Mudryk. It's a Chelsea corner. What a let-off for Aston Villa. Praise for Emi Martinez in the end.
Yeah, tones for his error for me, Vic. It's a really poor pass into Kamara. He has nowhere to go really with it. He gets robbed.
Here is Chilwell, swings the corner in. Out of the penalty area it goes, and there was a high boot in there from Chelsea. Emi Buendia's gone down, so it's a free kick to Aston Villa, Danny.
Yeah, Martinez has the ball, and he just plays a straight ball into Kamara. He's under pressure, good pressure from Chelsea, pressing high up the field. He can't really do anything with the pass. He's under so much pressure, was never on. Gets robbed of the ball, and then Martinez does really well in the end to atone for his error. He comes out quickly, spreads himself really well to make a fantastic save. I'm not sure why he's complaining there, because it was actually his mistake for me. Should have cleared his lines.
I was going to say, is it one of those as the player where you're furious with yourself, but you're not going to admit that?
Yeah, he's one of those players as well.
Exactly.
He's one of those players, Martinez. I don't think he's ever going to accept any responsibility. It's a poor ball into Kamara. He's got no chance really with it.
That's a great ball from John McGinn. Ollie Watkins into the penalty area, drags the shot wide. Chelsea were looking for a flag that didn't come, and Ollie Watkins, big opportunity for Aston Villa, big chances at both ends inside the opening 7 minutes. Goalless, breathless start here at Stamford Bridge.
It's been a brilliant start, Vicky. Brilliant start from both teams. What a ball from McGinn into Watkins. He's the man in form at the minute. He's the man you want with this chance. and he just drags it wide of the goal. He had so many options there, could have dinked the goalkeeper as well.
Gorgeous touch as well, wasn't it, from the Aston Villa top scorer as Chelsea play their way out of trouble. Great game so far, being played at a real pace here in West London as Chelsea spread the ball out to the right-hand side, and Ruben Loftus-Cheek will pick it up as the option of Kai Havertz, who now does take it, and in field to Enzo Fernandez as Chelsea work it back to the halfway line. I can finish telling you their team. Mudryk, Felix and Havertz are the players up top as Chelsea work it out to the right-hand side. I'm loath to look down at my notes to give you the Villa team, because any time I seem to do that, somebody gives it away in the penalty area or a keeper has to make a save. But Chelsea have it on the halfway line, so let's risk it. Martinez in goal for Villa. Back four of Young, Concert, Mings and Moreno. Ahead of them it's Kamara, already on a yellow card, and Louise, with Buendia, McGinn and Ramsey supporting Ollie Watkins up front as Chelsea have it in the wide right position. Danny Gabardon.
Yeah, it was clever centre forward play from Ollie Watkins. He just positions himself, in between Koulibaly and Cucurella. And that's what you can get sometimes when you get full-backs playing as centre-backs, positionally not quite in the right position. McGinn with that first-time ball into Watkins, and he's just in on goal. Needs to do better with the finish. As I say, he's the man who's in form, 4 goals in his last 4 games, and he just drags the shot wide, doesn't even work the goalkeeper.
Throw to Aston Villa midway through their own half. Chelsea's turn to have a bit of a row between teammates. Ben Chilwell absolutely furious with the ball that came out to the left-hand side towards him from Kalidou Koulibaly, but Chelsea have managed to win the throw midway through the Aston Villa half. Goalless here at Stamford Bridge as Joao Felix under pressure sends it back to Koulibaly, but it's so positive early on from both sides, and that's been such a hallmark of Villa under Unai Emery, hasn't it? You know, he's wanted them to have greater possession, but the stat that stands out to me, scoring in all 14 of their Premier League games under him, and since he took charge in November, they're the only Premier League side to have done that.
Yeah, that has surprised me a little bit, because I thought initially Unai Emery coming in, look, I thought he'd be steadying the ship, which he has done, but I always thought him as a bit more of a defensively minded kind of coach. But as you say, they've scored plenty of goals. I think balance is the key word, what he's brought to Aston Villa. You know, there's been clean sheets in there as well. They've scored plenty of goals, and balance is exactly what Steven Gerrard couldn't find with his Aston Villa team, but Unai Emery has.
Ball out to the left-hand side, won't be kept in by Aston Villa, and it's a throw to Chelsea midway through the Aston Villa half, which they take quickly. Here is Enzo Fernandez. Koulibaly will pick it up on the halfway line and square to Cucurella, and out to the left-hand side now, and Ben Chilwell in field to Joao Felix, who tries to dink it past Kamara, does so. The pullback to Kovacic, though, was not quite spot on for the Croatian, and Aston Villa almost win it back with Buendia, but Mudryk comes and takes charge for Chelsea, and now Enzo Fernandez. Lovely ball out to the right-hand side, collected by Ruben Loftus-Cheek as Havertz ahead of him. Loftus-Cheek down to the byline, trying to pull the ball across. Now, sliding challenge goes in. It's been given as a goal kick. Ruben Loftus-Cheek had both arms in the air. Off a shout for a penalty, or was he being optimistic there, Danny?
Well, this one will certainly be checked. I'm not sure how much of the ball he gets, Moreno. Maybe a little bit in the end, but got to be so careful as a defender when you go to ground in the 18-yard box. He just creates half a yard. Ruben Loftus-Cheek on Moreno, looking to cross the ball. He dives in.
Well,
he's got away with it.
We're back underway. I have to say, from seeing the replay, it was very, very clumsy, wasn't it, from the Aston Villa left-back Alex Moreno. But, as Danny says, Villa get away with it. VAR had a quick look. Tony Harrington in the booth at Stockley Park. Andy Madley, the man in the middle here at Stamford Bridge, goalless. 11 minutes played as Cucurella is barged into by John McGinn, and that will be a free kick to Chelsea just inside the Aston Villa half. John McGinn, he was part of that Scotland side for that famous win over Spain in the international break. What an outstanding performance that was, Danny.
Oh, it certainly was, and they are a team that's trending in the right direction. Scotland, Steve Clarke doing a fantastic job, and you look at their starting 11, maybe shouldn't be so surprised at the result, I don't think. You know, they're building a really good squad of players there. And Spain, well, had their chances as well, but maybe not the team that they used to be. Interesting to see McGinn playing on this right-hand side. It is a job that he's done under Unai Emery in previous games, but Leon Bailey played there in the previous game, and maybe just looking at the defensive side of John McGinn today, with obviously Chilwell on this left-hand side, who loves to get forward. He obviously feels he will do a better job tracking him back.
Good work by Joao Felix over on the right-hand side for Chelsea, getting the better of Moreno and winning the throw for the home side, deep in Aston Villa territory. Goalless, 12 minutes played here on BBC Radio 5 Live. Earlier in the Premier League today, Arsenal staying 8 points clear at the top, 4-1 winners over Leeds at the Emirates by the same scoreline. Manchester City beat Liverpool as Constable cleared that away from Havertz inside the penalty area, and Moreno up towards halfway. Bournemouth are out of the relegation zone, 2-1 victory over Fulham. Brighton scored a last-gasp equaliser at home to Brentford. That finished 3-3. A win for Roy Hodgson in his first game in charge back at Crystal Palace. Last-gasp winner, 2-1 over Leicester, who are in deep trouble still. And 1-1 between Nottingham Forest and Wolves. Neither of those sides out of it at all yet either. Chelsea not happy. They wanted a corner. It's been given as a free kick instead to Aston Villa. Tyrone Mings will take it inside his own penalty area. Danny.
Yeah, it's been a good battle over on that far right-hand side already between Ruben Loftus-Cheek and Alex Moreno. I didn't think that was a foul, actually. Moreno's sliding in again, this time clearly winning the ball. And yes, there are arms on the back of Moreno, but it's minimal contact. The linesman's right over that side. He's right on top of the situation, to be fair, and gives Aston Villa the foul.
Ball straight out of play from Aston Villa. It will be a throw to Chelsea, right on the edge of Graham Potter's technical area. Stands with his hands in his pockets, watching on Ben Chilwell, holding a very high line on this left-hand side as Chelsea can't find him though. And here come Aston Villa with Buendia, plays it out to the left-hand side, and Jacob Ramsey. Watkins in the centre. Ramsey pulls it across, and it's cleared away by Koulibaly. Before it can reach Watkins in the centre, it's out for a Villa throw.
Yeah, really good from Aston Villa without the ball there. Pressure on Kovacic in that midfield area. They win the ball back and then they're breaking quickly. Ball just fed across the 6-yard box, and Koulibaly doing a really good job of just getting himself into a defensive position, just reading where that cross is going to go.
Villa working it down the left-hand side once more, but under pressure from the throw. Have to go back to Tyrone Mings, who's giving it away, and Chelsea could be 3-on-2 here over the halfway line. They go. The blue shirts breaking forward out to the right-hand side of the area it goes, and the sliding challenge is absolutely brilliant at the back from Ezri Konsa to stop Havertz, who is in full flow. The angle was disappearing for the Germany international, but my word, didn't Konsa get that absolutely spot on into Chelsea corner.
Had to, Vicky. Outstanding defending. João Felix, I just think he has too many touches here. By the time he plays it to Havertz inside the 18-yard box, he can't really hit it first time. He tries to take it round Konsa, and that is a excellently timed tackle from him. Had to get that right.
Superb defending, and he's actually unlucky to concede the corner because the initial touch comes off Havertz and then it comes back off Konsa's foot. So it's the right decision, but
poor from Mings. So Vicky giving the ball away, and then they break quickly, Chelsea. It's almost like a 3v1 situation, but standing 1v1 defending from Konsa.
So corner to Chelsea, swung in from the right-hand side, headed away by Ollie Watkins, volleyed again by Kovacic, spins out to the right. It's over the head of Ben Chilwell, and the flag is up for offside anyway. I mean, Danny, you're almost laughing to my right there. It's the second time that Kovacic has picked the ball up in that position. And again, like we say, we've seen him score some stunners from that area, but
I'm laughing because they're the ones he normally scores. Those impossible ones. It's almost like a bicycle kick, front foot volley in mid-air. We've seen him do that before, but on that occasion gets it awfully wrong.
Those are the ones that don't make the highlight reel. That's why we forget about them.
Karate kick, I should probably say. Karate kick volley.
Villa playing out from the back again. That time they did it a little bit better, so Emi Martinez doesn't have to spare his blushes by screaming at a teammate. And Villa with the ball on halfway. Advantage played as Moreno went down. They're still in possession, Aston Villa, and Ashley Young has it on this right-hand side. Kamara will square it back to Konsa, who's just made that fabulous challenge to deny Kai Havertz inside the penalty area. You touched on Villa's away form earlier, Danny. Since Unai Emery's first Premier League away game with Villa, only City and Arsenal have picked up more away points. You know, it has been remarkable, the turnaround.
Well, they've only lost one away game, I think it is, under Unai Emery, and anytime you can pick points up on the road.
Here they come, Emi Buendia inside the area. John McGinn curls it. Oh, it's off the top of the crossbar. What an effort from John McGinn, just inside the penalty area. Outstanding from the Aston Villa captain. Villa so close to taking the lead at Stamford Bridge.
What a game this is. End-to-end stuff. Both teams looking capable of scoring goals. Brilliant play on that left-hand side by Ramsey. Pulls it back into Buendia. He looks like he might let fly with a strike, and he just plays a square ball to McGinn. on the edge of the 18-yard box. The weight of the pass is perfect, so he can strike it first time, looking to curl it to Ethan Balaga's right, just clips the top of the crossbar. Great effort.
Ball over the top, which Mudryk will chase. Danny is right, you cannot take your eyes off this. Mudryk is penalised for the foul. He was just about to break into the penalty area, but is deemed to have brought Conser down. But yeah, McGinn renewing hostilities with Kepa Arrizabalaga, who was in goal for Spain over the international break, including that defeat by Scotland with, you know, Simon, their regular number 1, out injured. But brilliant technique from the Aston Villa skipper, and at the moment, you know, both sides going hell for leather. It's a fabulous watch as Cucurella's header will play it straight to Ollie Watkins, in on goal, tries the chip over Kepa, and there is the lead for Aston Villa. Ollie Watkins scores for the first time in his career against Chelsea, and it's a beautiful, beautiful finish from Aston Villa's leading marksman this season, the first Villa player to score in 5 consecutive Premier League away games, and he gives them the breakthrough at Stamford Bridge. It's Chelsea 0, Villa 1.
Well, he makes no mistake on this occasion, Ollie Watkins. I think it's Buendia who's just looking to lift the ball over that Chelsea defence, where Watkins has made a run in behind. It's Cucurella who gets it all wrong. He's on the stretch. There's a bit of a miscommunication between him and Koulibaly, and his header plays Watkins in, and the ball just sits nicely for him, and he just lobs it over the top of Ethan Balaga, who's kind of caught in no man's land. Outstanding composure from Watkins on this occasion, and that is 5 goals in 5 Premier League games for him. The man in form.
And he didn't even make the England squad.
Well, he's knocking on the door. He is knocking on the door. He is in outstanding form at the minute, Ollie Watkins, but really poor defensively from Chelsea. There's a straight ball over the top. Lack of communication between Koulibaly, who's on the cover. Cucurella feels he has the stretch for the header, and the header just plays Watkins in behind. And what an outstanding finish that is. Fantastic composure shown.
So Chelsea behind at Stamford Bridge, and the tenure of Graham Potter takes another twist. Unbeaten in their last 4. Remember, Chelsea winning 3 of their last 4. Same form as Aston Villa before the international break, but it's Villa with the lead here on 5 Live. And they're coming forward once more. Good challenge by Enzo Fernandez on halfway. Cucurella will pick it up on the edge of the centre circle. And you know, we talked about this back 3. We talked about the fact that Cucurella is playing at centre half, so is Reece James. It is a position they can play and have played before. It's not their predominant positions. Of course, they are more naturally wide players. Are we seeing I'm not going to say makeshift, because he can play there, but are we seeing a less natural centre-half making a decision there? Danny's thoughts on that in a moment as Chelsea come down the right-hand side. Ball into the area, looking for Chilwell, who brings it down. Villa appealing for handball, not given. Chilwell, left-hand side of the box. Well forced out towards Cucurella on this left-hand side. Plays it into Joao Felix. Oh, lovely footwork. Felix gets the shot in. Near post. Martinez got a touch. Think it was going wide anyway, but Martinez had to be sure it's a Chelsea corner. Yeah,
fantastic feat. Joao Felix inside the 18-yard box. Patient build-up play from Chelsea. Eventually, Cucurella fires the ball into the feet of Joao Felix. He's got 3 Villa players around him. Real quick feet to get it back onto his right foot, and then a snapshot looking to beat Martinez low on his near post. Gets down well to his right. It's a real smart save from him.
So Chelsea corner, 21 minutes almost played here at Stamford Bridge. It's flown by. It's a brilliant game. Villa lead by 1-0. Chelsea swing it in with Chilwell. Moreno heads out of the penalty area, will be picked up by Mudryk and played in field to Kovacic as Ollie Watkins, Villa's goal scorer, closes him down. Enzo Fernandez now, ball to Mudryk on the edge of the area, cleared away by Ashley Young, out to the Chelsea right, where it will be picked up by Ruben Loftus-Cheek. And now here is Kai Havertz, pulls it back to Enzo Fernandez. Loftus-Cheek once more up against Moreno. That's been a good battle so far as Fernandez swings it in, headed away by Conser. Will be controlled by Ollie Watkins, almost loses out to Reece James, but Villa will clear through Moreno, up to Watkins once more, who has James very, very tight to him. Chelsea get the foot in, and it's now with Kovacic just inside the Aston Villa half. To the left he goes, and Joao Felix, who swings the ball out. Beautiful crossfield pass to Ruben Loftus-Cheek, who controls on his chest. Chelsea 0, Aston Villa 1 here on 5 Live. In field now it goes to Cucurella, who made the error for that Ollie Watkins goal that played him in one-on-one with Kepa. Beautiful chip over the Chelsea goalkeeper. Kovacic has it now, square to the right-hand side, and Reece James. Ruben Loftus-Cheek will chase this ball down to the byline, right-hand side up against Jacob Ramsey, wins the corner. In the Bundesliga, Bayern Munich under Thomas Tuchel lead Dortmund by 2-0 after 18 minutes. Here at Stamford Bridge, it's Chelsea 0, Aston Villa 1.
Well, just on Cucurella, I do think they're looking to target that area, Aston Villa, between him and Koulibaly. If you look at the first chance Watkins had, he positions himself between the two. Second chance, he's looking to spin in behind the two.
Corner played short by Chelsea, will be swung in by Reece James now, and Enzo Fernandez with the header. It's wide of the post, it's behind for a Villa goal kick.
A decent chance for Fernandez, good delivery into that near post area. They take the short corner. This comes to the edge of the corner of the 18-yard box, whipped in by Reece James. Yes, he's under pressure from a combination of Mings and Ollie Watkins, but gets there first with a header, just flashes past the near post. Just on the goal again, Vicky. I think Koulibaly needs to take charge of that situation. He's the one on the cover. If he shouts to Cucurella just to leave the ball, he deals with the situation. He obviously says nothing. Cucurella feels the need to go and head the ball, glances off the top of his head and plays Watkins in behind.
Reece James plays it out to the right-hand side, and Ruben Loftus-Cheek. I mean, we were talking before the match, weren't we, Danny, in terms of Reece James, that he came home early from international duty with England due to an injury. He started today as Chelsea play the ball over the top. Chilwell goes down just on the edge of the area. Villa trying to clear it, no penalty given. Chilwell is running straight to referee Andy Badley as Villa move down the left-hand side. VAR, of course, will have a look as Enzo Fernandez gets the foot in. Loftus-Cheek, Kovacic, midway through the Aston Villa half. Chelsea 0, Aston Villa 1 here on 5 Live. As Joao Felix brings it forward, approaching the penalty area. Lovely footwork once again. Not quite so lovely this time, though. Can't get past Kamara. Can't take your eyes off this for a second as Villa come forward, challenged on the halfway line, chested down by Kamara. Forward now to Ollie Watkins, their goal scorer, tussling with Cucurella, fouls Cucurella. Cucurella plays the ball so quickly. Let's risk it, Danny, and we'll keep an eye, of course, on Chelsea. But you know, James, whether playing in this back three is better for him than bombing up and down the wing if he's come back with an injury concern, as Kovacic has it, centre of the Aston Villa half. Coming forward now as Chelsea look to get back on level terms. Cucurella plays the ball to the edge of the area, chested down, shot by Havertz. Martinez right behind it.
I'll tell you what, Vicky, I think one of us needs to commentate rather than two. It's hard for us to both get what we want to say in. There's so much going on in this game. Havertz with a chance there. Fantastic control down in the 8-yard box. Let's fly with a strike, but comfortable for Martinez. That Chilwell one, well, I actually think it's a foul rather than a penalty. It looks like it's on the edge of the 18-yard box. Unlucky not to get that one.
Doesn't go Chelsea's way. It is not going Chelsea's way so far at Stamford Bridge. It's been a breathless encounter. Both sides playing some good football, both sides with opportunities. Aston Villa have taken one of them with their top scorer, Ollie Watkins, as they come down the left-hand side once more. Here is Douglas Luiz. Plays it straight into the referee, but will get it back initially. Now, he's furious, Douglas Luiz, because he's saying, well, hang on a minute, if you just blown for the whistle for the potential turnover of possession, but there wasn't a turnover of possession, and that's why Andy Madley kept his whistle away from his mouth as Chelsea come down the right-hand side. Havertz goes down, wins the free kick midway through the Villa half. Wide right position. Chelsea 0, Aston Villa 1, 25 minutes gone.
Yeah, and Douglas Luiz is the man then has to run back and gives the foul away in frustration because he feels maybe the game should have been stopped there. His intended cross-field ball hits the ref, comes back to him, but then he's got a Chelsea player right next to him, and I'm not really sure what kind of advantage he has there. Just nicks off the Chelsea player, and then Chelsea on the counter-attack. He then has to run back 100 yards and just gives the foul away in frustration more than anything.
It's one of those where technically there's not a turnover of possession at that point, but you're right, there's a player right there. You would think it's one where the referee could apply a bit of common sense and say, well, essentially that ball hitting me has caused ultimately Aston Villa to lose possession because it allowed Luiz's opponent to close him down. But anyway, we played on, and Chelsea have this free kick, wide right position, midway through the Aston Villa half. Koulibaly, one of those up from the back. Loftus-Cheek in the penalty area as well. It's headed away by Ashley Young. Picked up by Chilwell, but loose touch as he broke into the penalty area, and Moreno will play it forward to Jacob Ramsey under pressure from Loftus-Cheek. But he deals with that so well, Ramsey. So calm. Brilliant vision to pick out Ashley Young on this right-hand side. He was closed down by Kovacic, and Kovacic gets the foot in. and will play it forward. Good ball by Kovacic. Both sides really playing some great stuff as Mudryk gets a little bit lucky there, then runs into Kamara, forward by John McGinn, who's hit the bar for Aston Villa in this first half as well, a half in which they lead by a goal to nil through Ollie Watkins, as Felix, poor ball, plays it straight to Jacob Ramsey, racing away down the left-hand side. Watkins is in the centre. Can he stay onside? Doesn't matter. Brilliant block by Reece James. Loftus-Cheek will get there and draws the foul very well there to alleviate the pressure for Chelsea. Danny Gabardon.
Outstanding recovery, pace and tackle from Reece James. Really sloppy from Felix. He just plays Ramsey in down that left-hand side. Ruben Loftus-Cheek gets caught the wrong side, and he's just cutting in on the left-hand side of that 80-yard box, but Reece James gets across and makes a fantastic challenge. I'd say both teams will look really dangerous on the counter-attack and going forward, but both teams will look really vulnerable and open defensively as well. Chances both ends.
Great game for the neutral as Kepa Arrizabalaga takes this free kick up towards the halfway line. Latest scores in Rugby Union's European Champions Cup. These by 5:30 kickoffs. La Rochelle are trailing at home to Gloucester by 10 points to 3. Commentary of that over on Sports Extra. And Leinster are 10-3 up at home to Ulster. Earlier in the Women's Six Nations, France 53 to 3 points winners at Ireland. Here are Chelsea just outside the penalty area, cleared away by Aston Villa. It's a poor clearance though, picked up by Kai Havertz. Enzo Fernandez has it now, central position, 35 yards out, plays it out to the right hand side, and Ruben Loftus-Cheek, whose ball into the area, is blocked by Moreno, chested down by Havertz, but only as far as Moreno once more, and he will clear up towards halfway. But that really is, you picked it earlier, Danny, that's a great battle, isn't it, between Loftus-Cheek and Alex Moreno as Chelsea pick it up just inside the Villa half.
Unexpected one really. We didn't really expect maybe Ruben Loftus-Cheek to start the game, or certainly playing that right wing back position. I know that is a role he has filled before under Graham Potter, but a really good battle out on that far right hand side.
Kovacic in possession, plays it out to the right hand side, space for Loftus-Cheek, up against Moreno once more, pulls it back to Enzo Fernandez, edge of the penalty area, stopped by Jacob Ramsey from advancing any further, so we'll send it back to the fellow blonde-hairs, Reece James, and Koulibaly square to Cucurella. Back in field to Koulibaly once more, and you touched on it earlier in terms of Koulibaly taking charge, or could have taken charge, for that mistake that allowed Watkins into score from Cucurella. He's playing the central centre-half role, so he's perfectly placed to do so, and he is the out-and-out centre-half in that back three.
Vicky, you're spot on. He needs to take charge of that situation, also for the reason because he's the one on the cover. He can see everything. If he shouts to Cucurella quick enough and he just leaves that ball, then he mops up, he probably goes back to the goalkeeper and there's no problems. But for some reason, Cucurella maybe not getting told anything, feels the need to go and head the ball.
Here come Chelsea. Loftus-Cheek down the right-hand side, forward to Havertz, and now Enzo Fernandez. Thought about playing the ball into the penalty area, but instead lays it off to Reece James. Little back heel by Tyrone Mings for Aston Villa on the edge of the 6-yard box, and it does the job. Villa get the clearance up towards halfway. Well, unorthodox, Danny, but adjusted well there, Mings.
Did really well, because it was pulled back, and as a central defender in that situation, all your momentum is going towards goal. So if the ball gets pulled back in front, he was very difficult to readjust, but he does well there, Mings.
Out come Chelsea once more to the right-hand side. A real zip and urgency about their passing so far, as there has been for Aston Villa's. Little back heel from Loftus-Cheek to Reece James. As a fan in front of us, wasn't very impressed with that. Threw his hand up in the air, but I quite like that. Cucurella picks it up.
Plenty of time to go. No need to panic. I don't think this is going to stay 1-0.
Famous last words, but I do agree on the evidence of what we're seeing with our eyes, and it might not now, as Jacob Ramsey steals it for Aston Villa. Over the halfway line he goes, being pursued by Koulibaly, who gets a foot in, does brilliantly. It's back with Kepa. Watkins was busting a gut to get up there in support of Ramsey, but that was outstanding defending by Koulibaly.
Much better.
And Chelsea come forward. Kovacic, Mudryk in on goal. Can he find the equaliser? Took the shot too early. It's tame. It's straight at Emi Martinez. Huge chance wasted by the Ukrainian to open his Chelsea account.
Finish of a man lacking confidence, who hasn't played a lot of minutes. Chance for Ramsey. Chelsea right back down the other end. Kovacic, defence splitting pass. Mudryk's in on goal, left to centre. Could have taken another touch, could have gone closer and then finished. Elects to take it early. He's still outside the 18-yard box, and he tries to open that right foot out and bend it in the far corner. Doesn't do it.
Here comes Chelsea once again. Loftus-Cheek right-hand side into the penalty area. Still coming Loftus-Cheek. Pulls the ball across, and it's claimed by Emi Martinez inside his 6-yard box. Danny Gabardon.
I think Tyrone Mings here is just saying to Emi Martinez, take your time, please. because this is end-to-end stuff. It really is. Both teams looking vulnerable defensively. That Ramsey chance was a good one on the break. He's been brilliant on the turnover, winning the ball back and then driving forward, but you need to know your players a little bit there. Koulibaly, he's big, he's strong, he's quick, he gets back, takes the ball off him, then Chelsea right back down the other end. What a chance that is from Mudryk.
Well, he's listened, Martinez. He did take his time. Aston Villa win the throw midway through the Chelsea half. Bayern Munich under Thomas Tuchel are now 3-0 up against Dortmund after 28 minutes. 2 goals for Thomas Müller.
Yeah, I think Tyrone Mings just desperate for a breather there. I'm just looking at him, he's blowing a little bit. He got the give the thumbs up to his goalkeeper there as he kicked it forward and just got Villa up the pitch into this this wide area around Chelsea's 18-yard box.
Villa leading by a goal to 0 and taking the time over the throw as well, which they've lost. Ashley Young giving away possession, and here is Tyrone Mings will send the ball all the way back to Emi Martinez as Unai Emery out of his technical area with that black jacket on, hands on his hips, shouting instructions to his side. What a change he has made. They've continued that run of scoring in every single Premier League game in which he's taken charge. 15 Premier League matches so far. Only Arsenal, Manchester United and Manchester City coming into this weekend have earned more Premier League points than Aston Villa since Emery took the reins, as Cucurella wins a throw right next to Unai Emery on the halfway line. We'll just wait for options and goes back to Koulibaly. And honestly, Danny, 12 minutes to play until half-time. I think this is the first time the game has slowed down to anything less than 100 miles an hour.
Yeah, it has been 100 miles an hour. Great intensity from both teams. Chances at both ends. Ollie Watkins is the only man that's shown a bit of composure up until now. You just get that feeling, as I say, this is not going to finish at 1-0. There's more goals in this game for sure.
Yeah, that's the only question. How is it just the one? Chelsea could have scored, Villa could have scored. They've hit the bar as well through McGinn, as ball into the penalty area is intercepted by Villa. Ashley Young will head it away. Enzo Fernandez heads it back in. Kovacic plays it back on the edge of the D to Cucurella. Now forward to Joao Felix. Cucurella now has Chilwell as an option. Does eventually use him. Chilwell down the left-hand side, pulls it back to Cucurella. It's just past Cucurella, but will be picked up by Kovacic. Plays the ball into the area. Good run by Chilwell. Chests it down. Angle's very tight. Oh, he hits the post. What an effort by Ben Chilwell. The angle was disappearing all the time as Cucurella fires it off Ashley Young for a Chelsea corner.
Yeah, great ball from Kovacic. The run from Chilwell in behind McGinn on this right-hand side. Just thought he could have maybe hit that across goal first time on the volley, elected to chest it down, and then the angle become a little bit too tight. Still able to get the shot away and react quickly, Martinez, but it comes off the bar, was it, or the post there, and comes back out.
So corner to Chelsea from this left-hand side. Ben Chilwell will take it. Koulibaly's one of the players in there as Chilwell swings it in, and the header is just wide. It was a Villa head that got there first. Tyrone Mings diving in under real pressure. It's another Chelsea corner.
Yeah, just about does enough there. Tyrone Mings, way swinging delivery. Koulibaly climbing all over the back of him. Doesn't win the header, but just does enough to put Koulibaly off, and does actually hit Mings and goes out for the corner. Doesn't know too much about it though. Just trying to get his body into Koulibaly and make it difficult.
Now, a delay in taking the corner because Andy Madley has called Mark Cucurella over to him. Kovacic as well, the captain on the day for Chelsea, is being called over as well. So Cucurella is now walking back to the edge of the 6-yard box. He's got both arms in the air. He's being marshalled by the Aston Villa back line as Chilwell swings this corner in again from the left-hand side. It fizzes past everybody. Koulibaly was in there, shot driven in. Oh, back heel attempt by Havertz. Cucurella, Felix, wide.
How have Chelsea not scored? I really don't know. Pinball inside the 18-yard box of Aston Villa there. Fired in from Reece James from that corner. The little flick from Havertz. It hits a Villa player, comes back out. Another block, and then it drops to Joao Felix just on this kind of right-hand side of the 18-yard box. Controls it and just drags the shot wide of that near post. Yes, he's under a little bit of pressure.
Well, Villa are furious. Chelsea have got a corner. Didn't see the deflection. Emi Martinez claims it, and huge cheers from the Villa away end to our left in the shed end, and you can hear the boos. They're from the Villa fans because didn't see a deflection on the replay there, and it looked as though Felix had just dragged it wide. But Emi Martinez claims the corner, and we're back underway. Villa lead 1-0.
Excellent goalkeeping here, just relieving pressure off his defence. Martinez there just making the early decision. I'm coming to collect that corner no matter what. Don't think it was, though, as you say, Vicky.
Given away by John McGinn. Here is Joao Felix, 25 yards out, goes for goal. It's blocked by Mings, falls on the edge of the area to Mudryk, forced wide, left-hand side of the box for Chelsea, who trail by a goal to nil at Stamford Bridge. Here is Chilwell, down to the byline, pulls the ball across. Martinez has come to claim that. It's intercepted instead by Konsa, who does manage to clear up to Watkins just inside the Aston Villa half. Tries the control, eased off it by Koulibaly. Cucurella picks it up. Here is Kovacic. Enzo Fernandez, back to Kovacic. Chelsea just inside the Aston Villa half, and laid off now by Kovacic to Cucurella, and back to Koulibaly once more. Chelsea unbeaten in their last 4 before the international break, but trailing by a goal to nil, and they've given the ball away again. There's been far too many turnovers from both sides, and here come Aston Villa. Watkins won't control on the edge of the area, and Chelsea will play it forward. Mudryk, sliding challenge by Kamara, had to be careful there, he's on a yellow card. Chelsea play on, out to the right hand side they go. Chilwell wants it on the left, Joao Felix looks for him, Chilwell into the box, meets it first time, oh, and Havertz misses on the edge of the 6-yard box. What a chance for Chelsea. Tyrone Mings picks it up on the left-hand side of the penalty area, and Aston Villa will play their way in their little triangle. I was going to say out of trouble, but they're just knocking it around on the edge of their own penalty area, because Kai Havertz had stayed stock still, aghast in the 6-yard box that he hasn't managed to stick that in the back of the net. Danny
It's really unlucky. The ball's just behind him from Chilwell. They're running behind, across the ball into Chilwell, inside the 8-yard box, and maybe could have gone for goal. It's a tightish angle, but he elects to try and play it back across on the volley to Havertz. It would have been a tap-in for him, no more than 4 or 5 yards out, and it's just behind him and he's not able to connect. But chance for Villa on the counter just before that. Loftus-Cheek giving the ball away, break forward in numbers, and Moreno, similar ball to Chilwell really, where he just plays it behind Watkins and he's not able to control. But both teams, I have to say, have been electric on the counter-attack. Both teams flooding players forward on every opportunity.
We're just seeing a replay of that chance for Havertz, and Chilwell pulling it back. To be fair to Havertz, it is just behind him as he comes in on the edge of the 6-yard box. So difficult chance. Villa have won a free kick just inside their own half. Kovacic has gone into the book in the aftermath of that, and we can breathe for a second.
Yeah, I think both managers will want to see the team a bit more secure in possession, turning the ball over carelessly in their own half, and then both teams getting caught on the counter-attack. That's where a lot of the chances have come from for both teams.
So Aston Villa in possession on the halfway line, leading by a goal to nil, courtesy of Ollie Watkins in the 19th minute, his 11th goal of the season, 7 goals in his last 9 games, and I'm sure he will be hoping that Gareth Southgate will be watching on. But it's such a positive, isn't it, Danny, for England? You know, the player, if you look at it like for like, you know, Ivan Toney going great guns for Brentford as well, and you know there is a wealth of attacking talent at Southgate's disposal.
Certainly is, and he'll want to get himself back in the fold, Ollie Watkins. You know, he got in and around the squad, and now Ivan Toney looks like he's ahead of him, but all you can do is go out and perform and score goals, and certainly under Unai Emery, he's come back to life. Ollie Watkins, he'd be given that responsibility under the previous manager, Steven Gerrard. It was, where does Ollie Watkins play? Almost, how do I fit Danny Ings and Ollie Watkins into the starting 11? Sometimes you were seeing him playing wide, but Unai Emery said, look, you're my man. Gets rid of Danny Ings, you're my man, you're going to lead the line, and it looks like he's thriving off that responsibility.
Villa with a throw deep in Chelsea territory. It is Watkins' goal that gives them this 1-0 lead as we approach half-time. 5 minutes to play on 5 Live until the break, as Ashley Young pulls the ball across. It's intercepted by Kovacic. He plays it back to Koulibaly inside his own penalty area. Chelsea trying their own triangles. Then Chilwell plays it forward. It goes out of play for a throw. Now he's gone down. He's, I think, indicating that Ashley Young caught him as he tried to block that ball. The decision is throw, but Chilwell's still down here. And we did see, Danny, a couple of minutes ago that Chilwell did go down briefly in the Aston Villa half. Whether he's carrying a knock or feeling something, whether he wants to make the point that Ashley Young did just catch him on the top of the foot there.
It's inevitable, though, really, that kind of collision. You know, Chilwell's looking to clear the ball at the line. Ashley Young is right there, and he just puts his boot there, just trying to stop the clearance. He kicks through Chilwell and almost kicks the foot then of Ashley Young.
Do you know what he's done as well there, Ben Chilwell? He's just demonstrated to the linesman. He's come across. He hasn't kicked him. Let's be very clear. He has not kicked him, but he's mimicked what Ashley Young did to him. And I presume said, look, you know, if I did this to you, how would you like it? Oh, dear. Aston Villa lead by a goal to nil. They're in possession inside the Chelsea half here on 5 Live. Here is John McGinn. Douglas Luiz, 25 yards out, lays it off to Alex Moreno, who's getting forward now, the Villa left back, plays it forward to Ramsey. Buendia gone the other way. Ramsey then goes down inside the penalty area, nothing given. Still down Jacob Ramsey. I think the real frustration for Villa there was that Buendia had just stepped up, and had he not, there was a beautiful move down that left-hand side. Ramsey now up, jogging out of the penalty area. Chelsea in possession. Danny Gabardon.
Yeah, he needs to get himself back into shape. No foul given on Ramsey, but he's looked lively over on that left-hand side. Combined well with Watkins on the counter.
Here come Chelsea down the right. Havertz pulls the ball into the area. Kamara blocks it. Mings clears away. Havertz had a good view of that. He appealed immediately for a penalty, but then stopped the appeal very quickly. And we play on. Here is Cucurella. 3 minutes plus added time to play in this breathless first half at Stamford Bridge. It's Aston Villa who lead through Ollie Watkins by a 0-0. Kovacic squares it to Enzo Fernandez, closed down by Watkins. Now square to Reece James. Space for Loftus-Cheek down this right-hand side. Pulls it across. Havertz, space inside the area. Takes a touch. Two-touch. Tries to curl it in. Good save, Emi Martinez, who had to adjust his body and pushes it behind for a Chelsea corner.
Just does too much, Havertz. Too many touches. Gets the strike away in the end. But it's not the cleanest of strikes. And Martinez is able to get across and make a save to his left. But great play on that far right-hand side again. Chelsea alarmingly getting in behind Villa on that left-hand side. Number of occasions to pull back, and Havertz needs to get shot away quicker.
Here comes the corner from the right-hand side. Koulibaly was in there again. Got first contact on it. Villa clear away on the edge of their own 6-yard box, and up towards halfway they go. Buendia's trying to counter. I think he's run into Cucurella there and half pulled him down. Andy Madley agrees, and we play on with Chelsea picking up the ball just inside their own half. Here is Kovacic, lovely ball out to the right-hand side, finds Chilwell, who's still over there from taking the corner, goes down under the challenge, and it is a foul by Alex Moreno, and it will be a free kick to Chelsea midway through the Aston Villa half on the right-hand side. Villa lead by a 0-0. Another huge commentary coming up for you in the boxing tonight on 5 Live. Anthony Joshua against Jermaine Franklin from the O2. Do join us from 10 o'clock. If you want to get in the mood, you can head to BBC Sounds and listen to our week-long daily episodes, 5 Live Boxing with Steve Bunce, and check out the Football Daily while you're there as well. All the reaction to today's matches will be on the Football Daily podcast as well, which you can download tomorrow morning from BBC Sounds. It's been a great encounter, really enjoyable to watch here at Stamford Bridge as we're into the final minute of normal time at the end of the first half. Reece James with the free kick for Chelsea, swings it in. Felix and Koulibaly between them went for it on the edge of the 6-yard box. Villa get the boot in and managed to clear away. Cleared out on this left-hand side by Chilwell, off Moreno. A Chelsea throw, and Chelsea cranking up the pressure, looking to get back on level terms as we approach added time. Kovacic squares it to Enzo Fernandez, pulls it back to Reece James, out to the right-hand side he goes, and Ruben Loftus-Cheek up against the Villa captain John McGinn, who's hit the bar in this first half for Aston Villa as well, a half in which they lead by a 0-0. Cucurella passes a little bit short, but he gets there, sends it to Kovacic, close down by Buendia. Kovacic almost slips, but good 360 in the end from the Croatian, and sends it out to the left-hand side. Here is Chilwell, Cucurella ahead of him. Chilwell pulls it back to Kovacic, 30 yards out, plays the ball into the area. It's headed away before it can reach Havertz. Douglas Luiz will get something on it. Koulibaly sends it forward. Mings tried to feed Ramsey on the left-hand side. He gives a thumbs up, but Enzo Fernandez got there first as we enter 2 minutes of added time. Out to the right-hand side, Chelsea go. Loftus-Cheek deflected. Mudryk to Havertz, edge of the box. Enzo Fernandez back in. Chilwell's in there, and the header is in! Emi Martinez on the stretch, can't keep it out, but the whistle has gone. The goal has been ruled out. Chilwell's celebrations are cut short. Chelsea's celebrations are cut short. Now, let's see what VAR think of this.
This is given for a foul. I don't think it was for offside. Really good header by Ben Chilwell. Delivery from that far right-hand side from Enzo Fernandez, just floated in, yeah, 2 arms in the back of Ashley Young, then wins the header, finds that far corner, but excellent decision from the referee. Just a push from Chilwell on Young as he's in mid-air, doesn't allow him to attack the ball properly.
And the goal will stay ruled out. As you say, Danny, it was a great header from Chilwell, but he gained the illegal advantage with that push. And it's the fact that Young's in the air as well, isn't it? It's not just a coming together, jostling for position in the penalty area. Clearly affects the ability of Ashley Young to get that ball away. As Emi Martinez gets us underway, Koulibaly wins it for Chelsea. Can they find another opportunity to get an equaliser before half-time? Havertz has been brought down just inside the Aston Villa half. It's a free kick to Chelsea. The home crowd want more than that. They want a yellow card as well, but it won't be any more from Andy Madley. And Kovacic will lay it off to Koulibaly.
And they're quite narrow, Aston Villa. Those wing-backs for Chelsea are causing Aston Villa a lot of problems when Chelsea are able to kind of move the ball quickly into those wide areas. Moreno's quite narrow, trying to protect more centrally. Ashley Young's doing a similar thing. And when they can get the ball into those wide areas, Chelsea in overload, it's causing Villa a lot of problems.
Here comes Kovacic out to the left-hand side to CHEAVL, who fires it straight into Mark Cucurella, and there we go. Boos at half-time. I think they're for the officials and that ruling out of the CHEAVL goal, which from our view was a correct decision. They can't be for the game because we've seen some absolutely brilliant football, but Chelsea are trailing. Danny Gabardon.
Well, they are. It's been a superb first half to watch. I have to say, the intensity from both teams, credit to both. But Ollie Watkins has been the only one really that's shown that bit of composure to put a chance away. Graham Potter will be scratching his head how they're not back in this game. It really probably should be 4-4. Both teams have looked really dangerous going forward. Both teams have looked really vulnerable defensively. And Chelsea have probably had 5-6 good chances to get back on level terms and have not been able quite to show the composure really. So I mean, I just hope the second half continues. I really do. Surely it can't. Both teams can't keep that intensity up, I'm sure. But obviously Unai Emery will be happier of the two managers, but he'll want to see a little bit more control from his side as well. Now they're 1 goal to the good, but fantastic first half, Vicky, it really was.
I think that sums it up perfectly, Danny. It should be 4-4, but Chappers, it's only 1-0 to Aston Villa.
Thank you very much. Second half on the way. Elsewhere in the Premier League today, Manchester City came from behind to beat Liverpool by 4-1. Gabriel Jesus got 2 for Arsenal as they then went 8 points clear again at 3 o'clock with a 4-1 win over Leeds. Bournemouth came from behind to beat Fulham 2-1. Finished Brighton 3, Brentford 3. Crystal Palace scored through Jean-Philippe Mateta with virtually the last kick of the game to beat Leicester 2-1, and Leicester drop into the bottom 3 as a result. And Wolves got an equaliser at the City Ground in the second half, and that finished all square. Nottingham Forest 1. Wolves 1, as well as the Chelsea-Aston Villa game that's taking place at the moment. You might be interested in the game between the top 2 in the Bundesliga. Borussia Dortmund, the leaders, away to second-placed Bayern under Thomas Tuchel. Thomas Tuchel's first game in charge, and Bayern lead by 3-0 at the break. They've had a torrid first half of the Bundesliga leaders. Thomas Muller has got 2 of those Bayern goals. We'll have reaction to some of the day's Premier League action during half-time at Stamford Bridge. First of all, approaching 6:20, here's Matthew Bone.
Listen on BBC Sounds. This is BBC Radio 5 Live.
Thanks, Mark. There's been gridlock in and around the port of Dover, with long waits for people hoping to travel to France for the start of the Easter holidays. The boss of the Port Authority has apologised, saying he was deeply frustrated that coach passengers in particular had faced delays, some of more than 14 hours. Bad weather, along with the French border control checks, have been blamed for the backlog. A man who was seriously injured while fighting in a charity boxing match in Nottingham a week ago has died in hospital. Police say they're working with a coroner to find out what happened. The authorities in Iran have promised to enforce the compulsory headscarf on women more rigorously. Hardline politicians are giving ultimatums to judges to punish those who bend the rules. And donations to an animal charity loved by Paul O'Grady have passed £100,000 since the star's death. Battersea Cats and Dogs Home said it was overwhelmed and touched by the donations.
Why is it called a smart speaker? Because it's smart. You ask it to do something and it'll be done. Just say, smart speaker, ask BBC Sounds to play your favourite music mix. Oh, that's nice. Or you can say, ask BBC Sounds to play that brand new podcast. Ooh. And you can even ask BBC Sounds to pause, rewind and restart live radio on your smart speaker. If only everything in life is that simple. For music, radio and podcasts, on most smart speakers, just say, smart speaker, ask BBC Sounds.
This is 5 Live Sport with Mark Chapman.
Chelsea 0, Aston Villa 1 at half-time, second half on the way, and then it is 606 08 085 909 693. Let's bring you as much reaction as we can, though, to the day's Premier League action. Started with the game at the Emirates. Gabriel Jesus scored his first goal since October as Arsenal beat Leeds 4-1. So the gap to Manchester City in second remains 8 points. Here's Mikel Arteta with Nick Godwin.
Is it a case of anything Manchester City can do, you can do as well?
It's about us. It's about looking after our lane, what we want to do, what we are capable of doing, and keep performing and focusing in our performance and our results. That's all we can control.
Can I ask you who was going to take the penalty? Because Martin Odegaard had it in his hands and then Gabriel Jesus took it instead. Was there a plan there?
It was an option for both of them to do it, and Gabi felt confident. He put it in the back of the net, and that's all I asked him.
Can I ask you about him? Because he really seems to be returning to sharpness. You know, the winning of the penalty, the way he converted it, and all the other things he did in the game as well.
Yeah, he's worked so hard the last 4 or 5 months with all the staff and all the support that he had from the team. They are all dilated there for him. It's a special character, special player. He brings something unique to the team, and he's proven that today again. Every time we give him the chance, he's there.
That break that you've had doesn't seem to have affected you. You've re-established that 8-point advantage. Must be enormously satisfying.
That's what we had to prove, and we had a big challenge because we had 6-7 players with issues. And obviously you weren't aware of, but we had quite a lot of issues going on, and it was pretty tricky to manage, but the team showed incredible desire again, and they were at it.
Will you tell us who those players are? No, we'll just have to find out later. Fair enough.
You can try.
Thank you.
Mikel Arteta and Nick Godwin. Let's go to the relegation battle. Crystal Palace 2, Leicester 1 is how it finished at Selhurst Park, thanks to Jean-Philippe Mateta's winner deep in injury time. That was Palace's first win since New Year's Eve, so a decent return for Roy Hodgson.
Yeah, that's Royal Rover stuff, isn't it? There's no doubt about that. But I must say, I think we deserved it. I thought, especially first half, we were so dominant. And after the cold shower of their opening goal, which came in a spell where they were playing quite well, we really got ourselves going again and took the game to them. So I think, you know, we can safely say, or honestly say, that we did deserve to win it, albeit I feel sorry for Brendan and Leicester, because I know how heartbreaking it is when you think you've done well enough and sort of been able to put up, or if you like, or to deal with the pressure they had to deal with. You think we've come away with a point here and done well, all of a sudden you realise we haven't got anything at all to show for our efforts.
And what have the last 2 weeks been like for you? Has it been just a natural progression coming back here and fitting back in? What's it been like?
It's been very easy to fit back in. Partly because of the club, Joanne, Steve Parish, Dougie Freeman, all the people around the club, Christine Dowswell, all the people I left behind and gotten so well with, they're still there, you know, they're still supporting me and wishing me well. Same goes for quite a good number of the players. So I suppose my big question is, what are the new ones going to be like, the new players, the ones I don't know? Because I know they're good players, and I'm looking forward to working with them. How are they going to react, if you like, to Ray and I coming in? But I must say they've been superb too. So at this moment in time, it couldn't be any better. But, and it's a big but, there's 9 games to go. It won't always be quite this euphoric.
Palace had 31 shots in that game to Leicester's 3, and that defeat sees Brendan Rodgers' side drop into the bottom 3.
Well, that's always the job of the manager, to convince the players. I think you see enough moments in the games and you see the togetherness there in the team. But we're not at the very highest point in our game with confidence, naturally, because of the inconsistency in our results. But I've never had any doubt about the players and their honesty, and when you're as honest as that, we can keep believing, because we've had success together in a number of games this season. So we just got to find the way to recover now, which we'll do tomorrow, and now it's on to the next game, and that is the nature of football.
As you just touched on, the players, I thought, looked a little shell-shocked at the full-time whistle when they came off the pitch. You've got 2 home games coming up now, which could be massive for your season, but how hard is it going to be to try and get over this, forget this?
No, listen, that's the nature of football. For the next 24 hours is tough to take. It hurts, and like I said, it's a painful one, it's a sore one right at the end of the game, but football is all about the next game, and after 24 hours you got to recover and you're ready to go again, and the players will be there and get the supporters right behind them, because they're going to be so important now with 10 games to go to really help and push and give them that energy, and we can do that, then we can get the results we need.
Leicester into the bottom three, Bournemouth out of the bottom three as they came from behind to beat Fulham. Here's Gary O'Neill.
Yeah, it was big for the lads. We spoke a lot in the build-up to the game around what it took. And I told them before the game that I had a real belief in them, and I could feel in the room that they had a belief in themselves, and that we would do whatever it took to get to where we needed to get to, not only today but by the end of the season. And even mentioned to them that going 1-0 down today we would still find a way to come back and get what we needed to out of the game. And one thing saying it, but for the lads to respond the way they did to being 1-0 down at home in a winnable game, a game that you know you need to win. Atmosphere a little bit flat at that point. To show the response and the belief and the quality to wrestle back the control was a big effort from them.
Your subs worked all right, didn't they, half time? I mean, what a goal from Marcus Tavernier.
Yeah.
It was like his second, third touch or whatever it was.
Yeah, it was an incredible goal. I thought, couldn't believe we needed a strike that good to score, because we'd had so many. Even in the first half we had a couple, but then after half time was just we were camped around their goal. Ball bouncing.
Senesi had a good chance, didn't he?
Yeah, ball bouncing around the line. Just couldn't. It felt like it might be one of them days. So to get a goal of that quality obviously gave everyone a lift, and then we went on to win, and deservedly so.
Brennan Johnson put Nottingham Forest ahead at the City Ground against Wolves, but Daniel Pedence equalised for the visitors. Here's Steve Cooper with Pat Murphy.
You must be disappointed having played so well.
Yeah, exactly. There's always two things. There's the result and the performance, and because it's such a good performance, it's a frustrating result. It's obviously a game that we wanted to win and we should have won. It was fairly even first half. We managed to get the breakthrough. I thought we edged it first half with the moments we got in. And then second half, we knew we were going to be a bit deep, a bit more, give up a bit of territory on ball, and we knew we could get them on counter-attack, and that's exactly what happened. Aspect of the game that we didn't do well enough in the second half was score 2 or 3 goals, or make it 2 or 3-0. So, and obviously their goal then is just an unlucky deflection, and the lads took it well, no doubt about that. But I didn't feel like the goal was coming. Kaylo's not really had a save to make. So as you said, frustrating result because of such a positive performance.
Match of the day, 10:20 on BBC One to see all the goals and all the incidents. In the Women's Six Nations, France beat Ireland 53-3. It's half-time between Scotland and Wales, with the Welsh leading by 12 points to 10, and that's on BBC Two if you want to watch that. 2 Champions Cup knockout ties going on at the moment. La Rochelle 15, Gloucester 15, and Leinster 16, Ulster 8. Earlier, Stormers and Sharks both made it through to the quarterfinals. In Super League earlier, Warrington 34, Hull 6 into the second half at Catalan, and they lead Castleford by 16 points to 12. Tomorrow morning, you'll be able to hear commentary of the Australian Grand Prix from 5:45. Tonight, live boxing on 5 Live from 10 o'clock. Anthony Joshua against Jermaine Franklin from the O2. Steve Bunn's part of our team for that. And Bunsey, I'm sure there will be plenty of tribute paid to Ken Buchanan, arguably Scotland's greatest boxer, who it's been announced has died at the age of 77.
Yeah, it was announced about 2 o'clock this afternoon. Not only was Ken a great Scots boxer, I would argue, chappers, and I really mean this, that he's arguably the greatest ever British fighter. What he achieved in his career and what he had to come through, the hardships he went through, the fact he never ever had the sort of homecoming, never had the kind of adulation that fighters over the last 25 years have had, and fighters, of course, like Anthony Joshua here tonight at the O2. It feels like a homecoming for Joshua. Ken Buchanan, when we look back in the history books and we analyse the fights, he sold out Madison Square Garden. He was a Scotsman from Edinburgh, and I'll leave you with one thought. On one occasion, he surrendered half of his dressing room because he was asked if he could. The man asking him if he could have half the dressing room was Muhammad Ali. That's how big. That's a true story. I'm not invented it. That's how big Ken Buchanan was. That's how big he was.
Good stuff, Steve. Enjoy later. Thank you.
Thanks,
join Steve and the team live boxing on 5 Live from 10 o'clock tonight. In the Scottish Premiership, Rangers beat bottom of the table Dundee United to close the gap on Celtic. And in the Women's Super League, Manchester United are 3 points clear after a 4-0 win. Brighton, plenty of stuff you'll want to react to then with Chris and Robbie and 6:06, which is after Chelsea Villa. Or maybe Chris and Robbie aren't there. I've no idea where Chris and Robbie are, but 08085 909 693 if you want to talk to them. 08085 909 693. Robbie, are you there?
Chappers, I am. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now. Right.
Thank you, Chappers. Yeah, I was speaking. That's the most sense I've ever made on 6
Honestly, it's my favourite trail ever, that.
That's the best I've ever been on the radio. 30 seconds. Right, Chris, what do you talk about quickly?
What can we say in 30 seconds? Manchester City fans, do you think you can reel Arsenal in? Want to hear from Crystal Palace fans? Roy Hodgson, what a return from him. Leicester City fans, your team are in a relegation battle.
08085 909 693. Back to Vicky Sparks, who's with Danny Gabaldon.
Thanks very much, Robbie. So, will we have as breathless a second half as we did the first? Villa leading by a goal to nil through Ollie Watkins, and they're making a change at half-time. Callum Chambers is coming on for Boubacar Kamara, who's just back from injury and was on a yellow card. Danny Gabaldon, interesting one this for Unai Emery.
It certainly is, and I'm not sure what either manager would have said at half-time. Breathless first half, both teams creating chances, both teams looking really vulnerable defensively. Could have easily been 4-4 going in at half-time. Be interesting to see second half if either manager adopts different tactics. I'm not sure Chelsea, well, they need to get back into this game, but from a Villa perspective, well, do they try and shut up shop a little bit more? Do they continue to play on the front foot and try and get a second goal and really try and kill this game off?
So we're underway in the second half at Stamford Bridge. Aston Villa leading by a goal to nil. Chelsea in possession, playing from left to right in the royal blue shirts and shorts and the white socks. Aston Villa in their home kit too, the claret and blue and the white, as Kai Havertz comes forward, plays it down the left-hand side, picked up by Ben Chilwell, drives the ball in and it's just over the top of the bar. Goodness me, that was a fierce effort from Chilwell. Well, he's had a couple of chances, hit the post from an incredibly tight angle in the first half, and he caught this very sweetly indeed, and Martinez on the stretch, it hits the stanchion at the back of the goal as it goes over.
Yeah, it needs to be a fantastic strike to beat Martinez from that kind of angle, but he's pretty much playing as a left winger, Ben Chilwell. He's got so much space out on that left-hand side when Chelsea are able to move the ball quickly to him. He just had the time and space to let fly with a strike there.
Here come Chelsea again, starting this second half brightly, trailing as they are by a goal to nil. Enzo Fernandez to Cucurella, and now Kovacic, picked up by Reece James. Loftus-Cheek on this right-hand side, swings the ball in, blocked by Moreno, but does make its way into the penalty area. Douglas Luiz wins the header, clears away with his foot at the second attempt, up towards the halfway line where Cucurella will chest it down and play it all the way back to Kepa Arrizabalaga. So no changes for Chelsea at half-time. They've got Kepa in goal, the back four of James, Koulibaly and Cucurella, back three I should say, James, Koulibaly and Cucurella. Ahead of them, Loftus-Cheek, Fernandez, Kovacic and Chilwell, with Havertz, Felix and Mudryk up front. And it is Joao Felix on the ball, looking for Mudryk, who does pick it up under pressure. Havertz now 25 yards out, sends it out to the left-hand side. Ruben Loftus-Cheek will pick it up down by the byline, pulls the ball in. It's cleared away by Ezri Konsa on the edge of the 6-yard box, helped on by Alex Moreno, and will be picked up by Kai Havertz, who keeps it in, prevents it from going out for a throw to Chelsea, who started this second half very brightly. Here is Loftus-Cheek, pulls it back to Kai Havertz once more. The Aston Villa shirts getting back and organised as Watkins closes Havertz down. So Chelsea work it back to Reece James, and now Kovacic once more. Aston Villa lining up almost with a 6 at the back at the moment. It will be a back four. We'll take you through their lineup in a moment, because Chambers coming on full-back for Kamara in midfield obviously has necessitated a bit of a switch. Ashley Young has moved up essentially as Loftus-Cheek picks it up on the right-hand side for Chelsea. Here is Fernandez, little back heel by Havertz. Fernandez photo was blocked off there as he went for the 1-2. Andy Madley says nothing doing. And here come Aston Villa with their goal scorer, Ollie Watkins, on the halfway line, runs into trouble. James and Loftus-Cheek between them dispossess Aston Villa's top scorer. And Kovacic plays it forward, looking for the run of Mudryk. Mings gets the foot in. Konsa then goes down under pressure from Mudryk, and it will be a free kick to Aston Villa. So let's just look at this Aston Villa formation in the second half, Danny. We've got Martinez in goal. You've got the back four of Moreno, Mings, Konsa and Chambers out on the right-hand side. It looks like a trio of Jacob. Well, you've got the two sitting in midfield. You've got Louise and McGinn. He's dropped into centre midfield. Then you've got Ramsey on the left. Ashley Young's out on the right. And Emi Buendia sitting in the 10 with Watkins up front. And, of course, McGinn can potentially push up a little bit more. Ramsey can drop back to help out, but that essentially the 4-2-3-1 is the formation that they're starting with. As the ball forward, Ollie Watkins, little shove on the back of Reece James, but it's all the way through with Kepa anyway. And Chelsea play it out to this right-hand side, and Loftus-Cheek in field to Kai Havertz. Chelsea 0, Aston Villa 1 here on 5 Live. Enzo Fernandez picks it up and plays it to Mateo Kovacic out to the left-hand side, and Cucurella playing as part of this back three with Fofana and Silva out injured for Chelsea. They do have Badiashile and Chalobah who can play in the back three as well on the bench. As Reece James, also in the back three, plays it forward. It's intercepted. Poor ball forward, though, by Douglas Luiz, and Cucurella picks it up. I suppose the big question in this second half, Danny, we know that Chelsea have to come forward. They're trailing by a goal to nil. Aston Villa have been playing with such freedom, with such panache in the first half, but already this seems like a more defensive setup in this second period, as the ball is over on the left-hand side. Good run by Ben Chilwell, drives the ball across goal. It's across the 6-yard box, but why? There were 3 blue shirts lining up 12 yards out. It's not the right decision from Chilwell.
Yeah, just missed the poacher there, Chelsea, didn't he? Chilwell, brilliant skill to bring that down and get away from Ashley Young, and he fires a ball across the 6-yard box. There's 3 Chelsea players in support, but that's exactly what it is. In support, nobody who gets across or in line with Chilwell into that 6-yard box, and it's a nothing cross in the end.
So Aston Villa come forwards. Koulibaly with the interception, and will be picked up by Enzo Fernandez, pulls it back across. Just looking at that Villa back line again, yeah. It's a 5, isn't it? Ashley Young's filling in that wing-back position, so you've got Chambers who's filling in at centre-half, and then even now they do almost drop back into the 6, don't they, with Jacob Ramsey when Chelsea are coming forward in possession.
Yeah, I think it is essentially a back 4, but Chelsea
here comes Joao Felix outside the penalty area, drives the shot in, Mings with the block, Kovacic lays it off. Here is Enzo Fernandez. Marc Cucurella will drive 25 yards out. It's over the bar and into the Matthew Harding end.
Yeah, you're probably quite happy to see him shooting from distance here if you're an Aston Villa player. Probably should work the goalkeeper though still, because he's got plenty of time to size the strike up. I just think Villa are almost a back 6 at the minute, just the way they started this second half. They're under pressure. And what they haven't done as well at the start of this second half, when they've won the ball back, you know, that first kind of pass forward, it hasn't stuck. They've given the ball away too quickly, and that's allowed Chelsea to almost push Villa back, and they can't quite get out of their half at the minute. That's why you're seeing a back 6.
They get it over the halfway line, Aston Villa, but Koulibaly is there for Chelsea, and Kovacic will square it just behind Madrid, but Cucurella takes charge. He's coming forward a lot more in this second half, Cucurella, to add an extra blue shirt to that attack. He has it 25 yards out, left-hand side, pulls it back to Kovacic, in field to Enzo Fernandez. Nice footwork, takes him past Ramsey and McGinn and Buendia, but he's going sideways, lays it off to Kovacic, and now Cucurella out to the left-hand side, and Chilwell in field to Felix, but he runs into Callum Chambers, and Ashley Young will clear away. But Villa under a lot of pressure at the moment. Chelsea win the throw. Danny Gabardon.
Yeah, it's just a period that Villa need to see out. Haven't started the second half as well as the first. And that's going to happen sometimes with the quality that Chelsea have.
Ball over the top, won't quite break for Havertz in the penalty area, and Villa with Jacob Ramsey will clear just to the edge of their 6-yard box though. Tyrone Mings sliding in. Oh, he's fortunate there, Mings. He was running the ball out of the penalty area, almost had it taken off his toes by Joao Felix, then on the stretch just about got there first, was caught. Chelsea concede the free kick, but so easily, Danny, that could have gone the other way, and Aston Villa once again, as they did early on in the first half, could have given the ball straight to Chelsea inside their own penalty area. He is caught by Felix. It's the right decision, but it's fine margins.
Certainly is. Didn't look the most comfortable or convincing in that situation. Tyrone Mings, his touch trying to push the ball out of the 18-yard box was slightly heavy and just tempted Felix into the challenge. It is a foul. I'm not sure I'd want to see him doing that too often, Tyrone Mings, from a fellow defender.
So long ball forward from Emi Martinez. Watkins will win the header. Ruben Loftus-Cheek will send it all the way back to Kepa Arrizabalaga. Out he goes now to Reece James. Earlier in the Premier League today, Arsenal stay 8 points clear at the top, 4-1 winners over Leeds, the same scoreline by which Manchester City beat Liverpool 4-1 at home. Bournemouth are out of the relegation zone. They beat Fulham by 2-1. Late equaliser for Brighton, 3-3. That finished with Brentford Roy Hodgson winning in his first game in charge back at Crystal Palace. Last gasp victory for them, 2-1 over Leicester, and 1-1 between Forest and Wolves as Chelsea come down the right-hand side. Loftus-Cheek's ball in. It's poor. It's cut out on the corner of the 6-yard box and cleared away by Aston Villa. Douglas Luiz, was he pulled back there? Yes, he was, by Ben Chilwell. And that is going to be a yellow card for the Chelsea fullback, who gives a rather sarcastic thumbs up to our referee, Andy Badley.
Yeah, a bit of a silly foul to give away there from Chilwell. He's got Reece James on the cover. Not a lot of bodies sprinting forward from an Aston Villa point of view. Didn't really have anywhere to go. Douglas Luiz happy to draw the foul in the end, and that's going to be the issue for Aston Villa if they're going to continue to defend this deep with a back six at times. When they do win the ball back, they're not going to be as much of a threat on the counter-attack.
9 minutes gone in this second half at Stamford Bridge, and it is still Chelsea 0, Aston Villa 1. Ollie Watkins, first half goal, lovely dink over Kepa Arrizabalaga, making him the first Aston Villa player to score in 5 consecutive Premier League away games. It is his first goal as well against Chelsea. As Aston Villa come forward, square to Jacob Ramsey, who suddenly has acres of room in the centre of the Chelsea half, out to the left-hand side, and Moreno. Watkins waits in the centre. Moreno plays it off Loftus-Cheek. It's a rare Aston Villa corner.
The first real forage forward we've seen from Aston Villa in this second half. They move the ball quickly from right to left. They end up forcing a corner because they're able to get comfortable possession. They're able to retain possession for the first time this second half. Switch it to his left-hand side, and actually thought Moreno should have done better with the cross. It gets blocked by Loftus-Cheek, who does a decent job, but he had plenty of time to kill that around him, I think, into a decent area.
Well, Douglas Luiz has scored direct from a corner twice this season. He is over this. Ramsey's there as a short option. There are 4 claret and blue shirts in the 6-yard box, 2 more, including Watkins, waiting around 12 yards out. Will he go for goal again? Douglas Luiz, let's see. Swings it in, it's low to the near post, and it's flicked back looking for Buendia. Out of the penalty area, though, the shot driven from distance. Oh, what a fabulous goal! John McGinn, outstanding! A rocket from range, past Kepa Arrizabalaga, and Aston Villa double their lead at Stamford Bridge to pile the pressure once more on Graham Potter.
Well, that's going to hurt Graham Potter, it really is, because his team has started the better of the two sides this second half, but they don't deal with the corner well enough, Chelsea. They lose the first contact. When that ball comes out to the edge of the 8-yard box, they're slow to get up, and it's just a little set square to McGinn, and I have to say he's got a lot to do with the finish. Had the sight in the first half, which clipped off the top of the bar. This time he makes no mistake. Mudric's desperately trying to get across, and he just whips it with that left foot across the goalkeeper, Ethan Balaga, into the side net, and the keeper's got absolutely no chance. It's an outstanding finish. 2-0 Aston Villa.
It is an utterly gorgeous goal from John McGinn, and it's elicited a Chelsea change. A double change for Chelsea. Mudryk is off, and Noni Madueke is coming on, and Ruben Loftus-Cheek has also made way, and the huge cheer you heard was for N'Golo Kanté, his first appearance since August. It has been a torrid time for him with injury this season, but he's back now, and how Chelsea need a player of his experience, a player who has won so much at such a high level in the game, because they trail at home at Stamford Bridge by 2-0 as Aston Villa's remarkable revival and remarkable away run continues under Unai Emery.
Well, that will hurt. It really will. That will hurt Chelsea. They started the second half ever so well. Villa camped in their half, really. First time they were able to get forward, and they get a second goal, but defensively Chelsea poor again. The 2 goals both avoidable, really. What a finish from McGinn, though, Vicky. He's got so much to do with the finish. Finds that side there, and Ethan Balaga, absolutely no chance, just whips it back across into his left-hand side.
Certainly will be up for goal of the month. Might have a shout of being in the running for goal of the season. It is a beautiful, beautiful strike from John McGinn. Do catch it on Match of the Day. That's 10:20 tonight on BBC One, as Cucurella wins the header for Chelsea just inside the Chelsea half. Infield now to Kovacic. Just over half an hour to play here on 5 Live at Stamford Bridge. Out to the right-hand side go Chelsea and Madueke. Can he make an impression off the bench, the youngster? Challenged inside the penalty area. And Aston Villa will bring it away. Well, we talked about whether Villa would change the tactics, Danny, and they did. They were more defensive, but they found that killer goal, or what could be the killer goal, in the second half. And again, Unai Emery, I mean, he will be so pleased with how his tactics completely different in both halves. They went absolutely hell for leather in the first half, got the goal through Ollie Watkins, could have had more, could have conceded more. Joao Felix, edge of the area, into the box for Chelsea, still going, couple of step overs, it's behind for a corner. Again, it's very nifty footwork, but is it a little too nifty?
Too much, Vicky. He's got to get the strike away there. He created the half yard, yes, on his weaker left foot, but just let fly with a strike. He wants to then come back inside, allows a Villa player to get back and make the challenge.
So Chelsea corner from this far side. They trail 2-0 here on 5 Live. Swung into the edge of the 6-yard box, and Koulibaly's header is wide and it's high, and it's still 2-0 to Aston Villa.
Yeah, difficult chance, but he's capable, Koulibaly. Just makes that run across the near post, and I think he's above John McGinn. He's looking to glance it towards that far post and gets just too much on the header. But how did Chelsea respond here? Crowd obviously not happy. Villa fans in full voice. Have to give credit to the manager, because I think he realised at half-time there's no way that we're going to hold on 1-0 playing the way we did in the first half. Yes, we created chances, but we gave up a lot as well. Made the necessary changes. They're pretty much defending with a back six. They're getting back into that back six as quickly as possible. And obviously they scored a fantastic goal with the first real attack in this second half.
Here is Cucurella. Plays it to Enzo Fernandez on the halfway line, and now Joao Felix down the left-hand side, approaching the penalty area. Lovely step over once again. Little 1-2 with Havertz. Still going. Oh, almost. Good save by Martinez. Oh, they're screaming for a handball, Chelsea. They are absolutely screaming for it. The corner's been given. Andy Madley say, hang on, VAR will check, we won't restart. But it's one of those, Danny, where you look at the reaction of the players, and Chelsea, yes, they're desperate to get back into it, but they were adamant that this struck a hand here.
I'm not sure it does. Tyrone Mings here sliding in after Martinez makes the save, and difficult one to see. Does it kind of hit the shoulder area as it comes back off Martinez? That left arm is kind of up, but I don't think it hits the arm. It's more like the shoulder, combination of the shoulder and the face. But what about the feet and the 1-2 there from Joao Felix? Outstanding.
It's a brilliant save by the feet of Martinez. VAR are having a look at this. I think this would be harsh because it bounces off Mings. It looks like it strikes him on his head first, and then he's sliding. His arm is away from his body, but it's not above his shoulder. It's not raised. You'd have to say, as a former defender, Danny, that's a natural position. And he's saying, look, it hit me on the armpit. The T-shirt line, that's what he's pointing to.
He's
well, we've not restarted
yet.
VAR are having a close look. Now we are getting back underway, and I think that's the right decision.
Good decision. He's sliding in to try and stop the Felix shot. It comes back off Martinez. His arm is up, but I think it's a combination more of the face and the shoulder that it hits.
Yeah, and the arm's out rather than... If you put it above your shoulder, then they do really look harshly at it. As Chelsea swing the corner in, Moreno wins the header. Koulibaly went down inside the area, nothing given, and N'Golo Kanté will pick it up for Chelsea. Out to the right-hand side comes Reece James. Chelsea 0, Aston Villa 2 as they play the ball to the edge of the area. The offside flag is up. Villa have the ball anyway. Good advantage played by Andy Madley because Ollie Watkins is off and away over the halfway line. He's the only Claret and Blue shirt up there at the moment, and he runs straight into Koulibaly as reinforcements arrive, but does well there. Watkins puts the pressure on Koulibaly, who plays it straight out of play for an Aston Villa throw. They've been brilliant in this match, Villa.
So important moments like that. Your centre forward doing things like that. You know, he's up front on his own for most of this game, and he's up against 3 centre-backs for most of it, but he works so hard. He's a player I would hate to play against. He works so hard for the team. He never gives defenders a minute's peace. He allows his team to get up the pitch there, wins a throw-in.
Villa take the throw. Watkins tries to play it back in the penalty area, but Chelsea win it instead, and here goes Havertz, plays it out to the left-hand side. Enzo Fernandez will just about keep it in. Tyrone Mings is there midway through the Villa half, plays it into Felix. Little step over once more, plays it out to the right-hand side. Madueke into the penalty area, trying to curl the shot, but curls it past the angle of post and bar. It's still Chelsea 0, Aston Villa 2 here on 5 Live.
Yeah, Joao Felix is just applauding Madueke. You can see what he's trying to do. Brilliant counter-attack again from Chelsea from the throw, and they just catch Aston Villa with bodies at the pitch. Eventually the ball comes out to this right-hand side. He's just trying to come back inside on that left foot and bend it into that far corner. Doesn't quite get the precision on the strike, but good play from Chelsea again.
Good tussle between Watkins and Koulibaly. Koulibaly gets the foot in, and then strong challenge, but fair one by Reece James as Madueke picks it up once more down this right-hand side. Fees Havertz looking for the 1-2 Madueke, but Havertz will pick it in instead to the penalty area. Ben Chilwell just keeps it in on the byline, pulls it back to Joao Felix, edge of the area. Good foot in by Aston Villa and John McGinn, who scored that stunner in the second half. Best part of 25 yards. Beautiful shot, caressing the side netting as it flew past Kepa Arrizabalaga, and Aston Villa win the throw deep in their own territory. Danny Gabardon.
Yeah, they've just missed that clinical finisher, haven't they? Chelsea been very clinical with their chances. Aston Villa, at times, Chelsea players wanting to do a little bit too much, almost wanting to score the perfect goal. Some of Joao Felix's play has been outstanding after saving with some of his skill, his touches, his feet, but he's had 2 or 3 really good chances and not been clinical enough, not wanting to score enough.
Cucurella down, free kick given. Emi Buendia's not happy here. I think partly because Cucurella went down, collapsed immediately as if he was a marionette and somebody had cut his strings. And then as soon as the free kick was given, he jumped up, grabbed one of the balls from the white cones, and off Chelsea go. Here comes Havertz down the right-hand side. Madueke, Kante inside the area, drags the shot wide. Corner of the 6-yard box. And although he is so loved here, although the reception was so warm when he came on, Danny Gabardon, that is not the player that you want that chance to fall to.
Certainly isn't. I have to say I didn't fancy him. It's a really good chance for Kante. Great play, great run from Madueke. Slips the ball into Kante. Yes, he's just on a slight angle, but he's got it the target there at least. Drags the shot wide of that right-hand post. Another good chance gone begging.
Great positioning, but no finish for N'Golo Kanté. And Emi Martinez is just starting to take the time over these goal kicks for Aston Villa, whose fans are enjoying themselves away to our left in that corner of the shed end. Chelsea fans not at all. Graham Potter neither, standing in his technical area with his hands in his pockets as the ball goes out of play. Throw will be taken by Noni Madueke, who's made an impression since coming on, the 21-year-old, sort of running and endeavour down that right-hand side, but Chelsea need their players to step up here. Kovacic, ball was played behind him by Joao Felix and won't be won back by N'Golo Kanté, who is stepping up into quite an advanced position at the moment as Villa under pressure from Enzo Fernandez, dealt with well by Buendia, will send it all the way back to his compatriot Emi Martinez, and Consonant plays it out of the penalty area. Nice turn by Ashley Young, who was then caught by Cucurella, and that will be a free kick to Aston Villa midway through their own half. Chelsea 0, Aston Villa 2 here on 5 Live.
Yeah, good composure shown in possession there by Aston Villa. That's going to be so important for them at 2-0. Playing in their own half, retaining possession. Buendia first under pressure, keeping the ball for his team, then the ball into the feet of Ashley Young, and the ball sticks, he holds it up, draws the foul from Cucurella. It's going to be so important for Villa, just killing time on the clock.
Well, Chelsea complaining here because Villa are pushing it a little bit when it comes to restarting. Emi Martinez has eventually come out to take this free kick midway through the Aston Villa half. Almost midway through the second half. Chelsea trail by 2-0. Watkins in the first half, brilliant chip over Kepa, but he was outdone by his teammate, his captain John McGinn, who has scored an absolutely beautiful goal. First time strike, best part of 25 yards out, nestling into the bottom corner. The yellow card goes the way of Enzo Fernandez, who's just brought down the aforementioned John McGinn, and it's not happening for Chelsea at the moment, Danny.
No, a standing play from John McGinn. It's not the greatest of passes into him from Tyrone Mings. He's got Enzo Fernandez right behind him, but he's able to turn and get away from Fernandez and then draw the foul, draw the yellow card. Retention of the ball there from McGinn.
Moreno runs into Conte, and Madueke will lay it off to Kovacic. Nifty footwork there to evade the challenge of McGinn, and brilliant ball to find Enzo Fernandez through the centre, threaded the eye of the needle there. Conte's turned up on the right wing, plays the ball in, will receive it back as it's blocked inside the penalty area. Enzo Fernandez lifts it up, Havertz was there, header is by Aston Villa, but Chelsea still trying to get the chance away. Villa bring it down 12 yards out from their own goal and will clear up towards halfway, but they're struggling to hold on to possession at the moment. They're dropping very deep at the moment. Aston Villa dropping back into that back 6 defensive line as Joao Felix goes down and wins the free kick. 25 yards out, wide left position again. Chelsea saying, well, please can we have a little bit more than a free kick? And Smart Cucurella is advancing towards Andy Madley. They just need to keep their tempers here, Chelsea, and it's not him this time, but Ben Chilwell on a couple of occasions has had a real go at Andy Madley as well, and he's on a yellow card. They can't, of course they're frustrated. They're trailing by 2-0. It's been a season of frustration and pressure largely for Chelsea throughout the entire campaign, but they have to channel that in the right way, Danny.
Yeah, they do. Don't let your frustrations boil over. Still 22 minutes to go. Plenty of time for Chelsea to get back into this game.
So free kick swung in by Chilwell. It's poor. It's very poor. It's straight behind for an Aston Villa goal kick. And Aston Villa still lead by 2-0.
They need to be better in those moments. Normally a lot better with his delivery. Ben Chilwell, I thought where the free kick was, probably better served. The right footer going on that in-swing and delivery. Villa just need to be careful as well, kind of giving silly fouls away in those type of positions.
Sacked in the morning is what the Aston Villa fans are delighting in singing to Graham Potter, who doesn't react at all on the touchline, watching on, pointing to where his Chelsea players should be. 4 games unbeaten they were coming into this Chelsea, 3 wins in 4. Looks like they'd stop the rot, but this will pose the questions once more of Graham Potter and his side. Champions League quarter-finalists still this season, as Madueke plays the ball into the penalty area and Emi Martinez claims, but this would, Danny, be a damaging defeat, no 2 ways about it.
It certainly would. You know, Chelsea, you're looking at them maybe turning a corner, 4 unbeaten, yes, another previous result against Everton. They probably should have seen that out and didn't. This will be really disappointing if they can't get back into this with Graham Potter, because some of their attacking play has been outstanding. I have to say, though, defensively, Vicky, really poor.
Now Havertz has closed down Emi Martinez here, and referee Andy Madley is coming to say, yes, take that again. He wasn't the required distance there, Havertz. And again, it's just eking the time away in a way that Chelsea don't want.
I don't know why he's doing that, Havertz. You know you can't get away with that. Martinez is looking to kick the ball upfield, and he comes running in and tries to block it. You know as a player you're never going to get away with that one. It kills a little bit more time on the clock.
So Martinez to take this free kick from just outside the Villa penalty area. Villa lead by 2-0. It's been a great encounter as they come forward now. Jacob Ramsey into the penalty area now as he nudged over there. Koulibaly will say he was just being strong. Kepa gathers, bowls it out underarm. Ramsey gets back up to his feet. The Villa fans were shouting for it, of course they would. Reece James plays it forward. What do we think, Danny Gabardon? Chelsea taking a bit of a risk there?
Yeah, I don't know how he gets in there. It's a straight ball flick on and he's in on goal. Ramsey, it actually sits up lovely like the Ollie Watkins goal. He could have lobbed that over the goalkeeper first time. Elects to take another touch that allows Koulibaly to get back in. Just enough contact not to give the penalty away, I would say.
So Villa in possession just inside their own half, leading 2-0 here on 5 Live as Douglas Luiz plays it forward. Got a little nudge in the back from N'Golo Conte, but Andy Madley again plays advantage. It's good refereeing. He's done that a couple of times, and here comes John McGinn, plays it behind Emi Buendia. Wondered if he might shoot there. That's what the Villa fans were urging, given that he scored from a similar range already. 25 yards out, John McGinn in this second half, which gives them that 2-0 lead. But Douglas Luiz has it now midway through the Chelsea half, and now to Buendia, left-hand side. It's been a great encounter for Aston Villa, certainly from their perspective. First half was great from the neutral. Really enjoyed the action here on 5 Live, and more commentary action coming up for you this evening from the O2. Anthony Joshua against Jermaine Franklin, 10 o'clock. Do join us for that as Cucurella wins a free kick midway through the Chelsea half. And this time next week, 5 Live will be bringing you the 3rd round of the Masters from Augusta. So do join us for that Thursday through to Sunday on BBC Sounds and 5 Live. Here at Stamford Bridge, Chelsea 0, Aston Villa 2. Thomas Tuchel's Bayern Munich are now 4-0 up against Dortmund. At midway through the second half as well, the former Chelsea manager going very well there indeed. And of course, potential matchup if they navigate their respective quarter-finals between Bayern Munich and Chelsea in the Champions League semi-finals. Chelsea focused on the Premier League and getting back into this game for now as the ball is through to Chilwell in the area, goes down belatedly. He didn't appeal for it. Well, he does belatedly appeal for it, Chilwell, but it looks as though he just overran that there. Nice ball in from Joao Felix, but again, Danny Gabardon, are Chelsea guilty of overplaying there?
Well, could have got the shot away. Chilwell on his strong left foot, on a tightish angle, looks to try and chop inside of Callum Chambers, who reads his intentions, just sticks out that left boot and wins the ball. But Joao Felix again, just picking the ball up in a pocket of space, getting turned and feeding Chilwell in. He's been outstanding.
Reece James plays the ball forwards, played back to him by Kai Havertz. But this is the contrast to the first half, which was so open. Chelsea having to work so hard to unlock this Villa back line. Madueke, can he do it? Plays the ball in. Tyrone Mings clears away on the edge of the 6-yard box. It's back with Reece James. Plays the ball into the penalty area. Header is won by Concert and will spin away to Ashley Young on the right-hand side. Chelsea 0, Aston Villa 2. 17 minutes plus added time to play in this second half at Stamford Bridge. It's all Chelsea at the moment, but they've not done enough to test Emi Martinez in this second half as Aston Villa clear the ball away. Here is the scorer of their second goal, John McGinn. Back to Callum Chambers. He clears long. Cucurella underneath it on the halfway line. Plays it forward to Enzo Fernandez. Cucurella goes in again. Strong challenge from Cucurella. He's penalised and Aston Villa win a free kick on the far side.
He's fantastic in possession, Emi Buendia. That's why he's in the Aston Villa team. Has that technical ability, but his work rate off the ball this afternoon, getting up and supporting Ollie Watkins, sensing where those second balls are going to drop, being outstanding at that, and he's the one that reacts quickest there, gets onto the second ball and then draws the foul from Enzo Fernandez.
Aston Villa are preparing to make their second change of the game. Leon Bailey is going to come on as Tyrone Mings has it midway through the Aston Villa half. Forwards to Douglas Luiz once more. We talk about Unai Emery's record at Aston Villa since he took over. It's Aston Villa's record at Stamford Bridge that's been so disappointing over recent years. This would be just their second victory in their last 20 visits, but they would be well worth it. They have been outstanding this afternoon. And Chelsea running out of ideas. The ball is over the head of Reece James as Villa clear on the halfway line, and Chelsea will have a throw, and Graham Potter throws it quickly to James, but they won't be able to take it quickly because here comes the Aston Villa change, and Emi Buendia is being replaced by Leon Bailey.
He's had a good afternoon, been very good, particularly first half where he saw a bit more of the ball and it's a real threat on the counter-attack, him and Ramsey, and getting in support of Ollie Watkins. Second half's been a bit more of a defensive job for him, but deserves a rest. He's been excellent. His out of possession stuff, how hard he's worked for the team, he's superb.
So latest scores in Rugby Union's European Champions Cup. These are 5:30 kickoffs as well. La Rochelle, very tight game with Gloucester. Gloucester currently leading 23-22. There's commentary of that over on Sports Extra. And Leinster are 23-15 up against Ulster. Earlier in the Women's Six Nations, France thumping Ireland 53-3. In the 5:30 game, Wales currently leading Scotland by 24 points to 17. 15 minutes left. So Wales, Danny, could be closing in on a victory there.
Let's hope so. Still time, no.
Here are Chelsea trailing by 2-0 against a very impressive Aston Villa. Out to the right-hand side, Chelsea go, and Reece James picks it up on the halfway line. But let's go back to that point, Danny. Are Chelsea running out of ideas here?
Certainly looking that way. Aston Villa are kind of set up with that back six, and it's been more difficult for Chelsea to penetrate and get in behind. Tactically, Unai second half has made the adjustments, and the bonus was kind of getting that second goal off the back of doing that.
They've won another corner, Chelsea. Ben Chilwell is just telling Ashley Young to retreat. He's got to stay calm here, Chilwell. He's already on a yellow card. Andy Madley comes across very quickly to get in between the two players. The corner was won by Chelsea off the head of Young. Chilwell wanted Ashley Young to move quickly away. He didn't do so. Chilwell then came out to confront Ashley Young, who's now saying to referee Andy Madley, I'm not happy with what's happened there. And he's just limping away from that slightly, Ashley Young. He's not made a huge meal of it, but he's on a yellow card, Chilwell. He's got to keep his temper here. They cannot afford to go down to 10 men, Chelsea. 2-0 down as they are, as Chilwell swings the corner in. Cleared away by Ollie Watkins. He got Villa underway in the first half. Ball out of play for a Chelsea throw. And Andy Madley is just saying, hang on here. So let's see. No, he said move on. The VAR were looking at that incident, but we did take the corner, so not sure how much VAR, once they restarted, would have been able to do about it anyway. But here we go. We play on. Chelsea trailing by 2-0. Infield from Koulibaly. to Reece James. Madueke on the charge down the right-hand side will collect. Good defending by Jacob Ramsey. Throw goes to Chelsea, but he's been outstanding, Ramsey.
Yeah, first half, superb on the counter-attack. Second half, he's almost played as a second left-back, really. He's been so deep, but done an excellent defensive job.
Villa very deep. So far, they're keeping Chelsea at bay. 12 minutes plus added time to play. They have the 2-goal cushion, Unai Emery's side, as Reece James plays it forward. Kai Havertz back now to Kovacic. Dink forward looking for Havertz once more. Dispossessed on the edge of the D. Douglas Luiz will pick it up. John McGinn dispossessed by Kante. Kante plays it out to the right-hand side. Madueke back to N'Golo Kante. Blocked by Mings. Kante once again. Can't get the shot away. Kovacic can and curls over once again from that favoured position, the edge of the D.
It just doesn't look like it's going to be Chelsea's day. Kante initially with the shot. He then sets the ball back to Kovacic. He's leaning back on the strike, high, wide and handsome in the end. Much more difficult for Chelsea now, though, with the tactical changes from Villa, that back six. When Chelsea get the ball wide, they've got players lined across that kind of 6-yard box penalty spot. Lots of bodies there to deal with the situation. They weren't doing that so much in the first half, and Chelsea had a lot of joy. Not so much second half.
Last action, Kovacic, who's replaced by Conor Gallagher. And Mark Cucurella is coming off for Christian Pulisic. Pulisic, remember, came back from international duty for the USA with a heavy cold, according to Graham Potter, so fit enough to play some part from the bench. Chelsea have to continue to try and go for it, try and put the pressure on. They trail 2-0 to Aston Villa. We talk about putting the pressure on in this game. Danny Gabardon, how much pressure does this put on Graham Potter if it finishes 2-0 Villa?
Well, you only have to listen to the crowd. You're getting sacked in the morning. Sections of the crowd chanting now, so the pressure's back on for Graham Potter. 10 minutes to go. You take a draw now, you really would. Forget the win. Games are won in both boxes. You can have as much possession, chances as you want. You've got to be clinical with the chances how you get, and you've got to defend correctly. Chelsea have done neither of those two.
Is Villa coming forward now with Leon Bailey, 25 yards out. Oh, drives it just wide of the post. That's a very similar position to the one that John McGinn scored from in this second half, and it just opened up for Bailey, didn't it?
And he loves this position. Leon Bailey cutting off their right hand side onto his left foot and looking to find that far corner. A million miles away to strike.
Out to the left-hand side, Chelsea go. They win the free kick just inside the Aston Villa half with Ben Chilwell going down. Talked about his temperament a lot, Chilwell, but he's made some brilliant runs into the penalty area, but they've just not been able to find the finish, sometimes guilty of overplaying. Martinez has made a couple of good saves, but Villa have had chances as well. But Danny Gabardon's first half prediction at 1-0 was right. It's not going to finish 1-0. It's 2-0 to Villa. Can Chelsea get a goal back? Conte's ball in, cleared out by Mings. Chelsea corner, 9 minutes plus added time to play here on 5 Line.
Yeah, but I also said to you at half-time, Vicky, that I thought Chelsea would come back into this game, and it hasn't happened, so what do I know?
I wasn't going to mention that.
I thought I'd get it in before maybe you did.
Corner to Chelsea. Still time for them to do so, but it's ticking away. Right-hand side, Chilwell will take it to the edge of the 6-yard box. Mings gets the contact on it again. Villa have defended set piece as well on the edge of their 6-yard box, and N'Golo Kante goes all the way back to Kepa, much to frustration from Stamford Bridge, but so hard for Chelsea to pick their way through this crowded Villa back line. You know, dropping deep can sometimes make you feel nervous for a side, but there's a composure and an organisation about the way that Villa have done it.
Yeah, there's two ways of controlling the game, with the ball and without the ball. Neither team really had control of the ball in the first half. It was so open, so many chances for both teams. We didn't think that could continue. And obviously it's Aston Villa who got their nose in front, and then were able to change tactically, control the game a little bit more without the ball, sit a little bit deeper, 6 across the back, and the added bonus as they were then able to obviously go on and get a second goal.
Yeah, that strike from John McGinn, so key in this second half to Unai Emery's game plan. But we've seen the versatility from the Villa coach. So open in the first half, completely changed it by bringing Callum Chambers on in the second half, and shifting to that more defensive approach. But they've been clinical in the second half when needed, and could potentially have had a couple more. So not 100% clinical, but clinical when it mattered. Yeah. As Chelsea win the free kick, Reece James is just having a little fractious conversation with Jacob Ramsey, who again is not backing up enough, but James just gets on with it this time and plays it to Enzo Fernandez, and here is Koulibaly, will play it out to Chilwell, who feeds Felix on the left-hand side.
Yeah, I think the big change for Villa really was just adjusting the positions of the two wide men. I spoke about it in the first half, who was dealing with those Chelsea wing-backs. Nobody was really, from a Villa perspective, in that first half, and it was causing them a lot of issues. So all Unai Emery's done really is just drop the wingers back deeper to deal with those Chelsea wing-backs. We haven't seen Chilwell getting in as much as we did in the first half. Loftus-Cheek, who started on the right-hand side, we didn't see as much from him in the second half. It just helped to nullify Chelsea's attacking play compared to the first half.
Callum Chambers picks up a yellow card for Aston Villa after delaying a Chelsea throw. Villa win it back. Down the left-hand side they go. And they're doing what they need to do, Villa. And honestly, every single aspect of their game that you look at this afternoon, they've done so well. And right now, to Chelsea's frustration, it's gamesmanship, it's taking time over things, but that is part of football.
Game management, good game management, that is called. Doing exactly what you need to do to see this kind of period out.
Here is Ollie Watkins. Oh, brilliant skill. Takes him past three Chelsea players. Plays it to the edge of the penalty area. Bailey trying to cut it across on the right-hand side where there was space for Ashley Young, but Chelsea get a vital foot in. And here goes N'Golo Kanté over the halfway line. Conor Gallagher to his left. Picks up Gallagher. Just miscontrolled it on the edge of the area and allowed Callum Chambers to get a foot in. And Chambers will clear long up towards halfway. It bounces out for a Chelsea throw. Just over 5 minutes plus added time to play here on 5 Live. Chelsea 0, Aston Villa 2.
He's been excellent defensively, Callum Chambers. It's coming on. Start of the second half, never easy as a substitute coming on. In this type of game, you're 1-0 up, trying to get up to the pace of the game. Defensively excellent there, just coming across and nicking the ball off Conor Gallagher.
Former Wales defender Danny Gabardon here with us on 5 Live this evening as Gallagher picks it up once more. Chelsea are running out of time. They're 2-0 down. Is this to be another disappointing defeat under Graham Potter, just when Chelsea looked as though they were building a bit of momentum heading into the international break? Kanté plays the ball into the area, little deflection off Douglas Luiz. Kanté will win it on the edge of the box, still right hand side, plays it back to Madueke, who's faded a bit in the last 10 minutes. James with a dangerous delivery in, can't quite be controlled at the far post, with Chelsea racing in through Pulisic, and it goes behind for an Aston Villa corner. What a ball that was by Reece James.
Yeah, outstanding delivery, just into that corridor of uncertainty, behind centre half and in front of goalkeeper. But they've got so many bodies strung across here, Aston Villa, and Chelsea just lacking runners into that area. And Ashley Young does a decent job on that far post up against Pulisic. He just takes a knock on the head as well for his troubles.
And he's just back up to his feet, Ashley Young. That wasn't so much gamesmanship, he did get caught there, but Villa preparing to make another change. And it will be Leander Tendonka back from injury, who's on for Douglas Luiz, and they're nearly there, Danny. They're nearly there, Aston Villa.
They certainly are. Just need to see this out now. I have to say they've been excellent since getting the second goal, the way they've kind of controlled the game and made things a lot more difficult for Chelsea. Since the second goal, Martinez not been anywhere near as busy as what we saw in the first half, so you have to give a lot of credit to the manager and the little changes that he made tactically. Almost there, Aston Villa.
Well, how things have changed since Chelsea recorded this very scoreline at Villa Park back in October. At the time, it continued Graham Potter's unbeaten start as Chelsea manager. Since then, they've lost 10 of his 24 games in charge in all competitions. Is it going to be 11 from 25? It looks that way. 3 minutes plus added time to play, and it's Aston Villa bursting forward down this right-hand side. Watkins is in the centre. Ramsey's on the edge of the box. It's cleared away by Madueke as they tried to find Ramsey Leon Bailey, and it's out for an Aston Villa corner. And you just get the sense that this might not be Chelsea's night, Danny Gabardon. Although I have to say, I was here on Thursday night. We thought that were Chelsea's women in the Women's Champions League, and they managed to score a very, very late penalty and go through against Lyon on penalties. But Chelsea have got 2 goals to make up here.
Yeah, need a miracle now, Chelsea. And on another day, they get 4 or 5 goals a day. But they've been poor in both boxes, as I said, not clinical enough with their chances. And the 2 goals that they've given away, that's what will really disappoint Graham Potter. 2 poor goals against Chelsea, another 2 today.
So corner to Aston Villa from the right-hand side. Chelsea packing that 6-yard box as they try and defend it. Enzo Fernandez gets something on it. It's not the most convincing touch, but fortunately for Chelsea, it spins out to the left-hand side. And N'Golo Kanté, but it won't be kept in by Kai Havertz, and it will be a throw to Aston Villa, who are making another change. Luca Digne is coming on, and Alex Moreno will make way. But you just get the sense, Danny, that the belief is ebbing out of Chelsea, or has already ebbed.
Yeah, just looking at the body language of some of these Chelsea players now, Villa may be thinking they can get a third and put the icing on the cake. There's so many chances, Chelsea, and it's just demoralising. You can't stick the ball in the back of the net and then you get done the other end. I think Graham Potter will be really pleased with some of the attacking play that he's seen from his team. The chances created, I think you can see the improvements, but got to be better defensively. If you're going to defend the way that Chelsea have this afternoon at times, it's very difficult to win games of football.
Villa have the ball just outside Chelsea's penalty area, but Chelsea do win it back, and that's good play by Joao Felix on the halfway line, dinks it forward looking for the run of Kai Havertz, who collects just ahead of Tyrone Mings. He's got 4 Villa players surrounding him. He's done really well there, Havertz. Great strength to hold on to the ball. Enzo Fernandez, space over on the far side for Christian Pulisic. Gallagher wants it in the centre. Pulisic plays the ball across, and Emi Martinez needed to deal with it, tips it over. It's a Chelsea corner as we enter the final minute of normal time. Chelsea 0, Aston Villa 2 here on 5 Live.
It's poor, I think, from Pulisic. Is it a shot? Is it a cross? I think it's a shot. He's never going to score from that angle. It's a crossing position. Martinez tips it over the bar, but he's got 5 or 6 bodies in the box to pick out there.
So Chilwell with his corner from the left-hand side. Chelsea looking to pull a goal back late on. Again, Villa make first contact from the corner and clear up towards halfway. Kanté in the centre circle will pick it up for Chelsea. Got a little tug on the arm from Leon Bailey, but we play on into the area. Chelsea go. Sliding block from Ollie Watkins, and the offside flag eventually is up against Chelsea, and it will be a free kick to Aston Villa inside their own penalty area. 5 minutes of added time, but you can tell from the reaction around Stamford Bridge, Danny, which is rapidly emptying, apart from the Aston Villa away end. Is there the belief here?
Well, Chelsea fans are flooding out in their numbers now. They've seen enough. And you can just see the frustration, and rightly so, because you look at the money spent on this squad. They should be doing better. It's as simple as that. Graham Potter as well, he's had enough games now to get this squad of players going and gel together. The last 3 or 4 games, it has looked like that was starting to happen. This is a big setback for the Chelsea manager. Puts him right back to square one again.
Luca Digne wins the header. Chelsea try and pick it up once more. Enzo Fernandez plays it out to the right-hand side. Madueke won't reach it. It's well intercepted by Luca Digne. Is there to be a flourish at the last for Aston Villa? Ollie Watkins can't control. Oh, poor pass, almost plays him straight back in. Kepa Arrizabalaga played into real trouble there by Reece James. Comes out very quickly and blocks that. And I love that. If we compare Martinez absolutely screaming at Kamara when it was his fault in the first half, Kepa, that was completely Reece James' fault. He comes out, makes the block, does his job, sends it out to the left-hand side, and then applauds to Reece James and says, come on, let's keep going.
Yeah, great example of Ollie Watkins there, though, in his work rate. Chases everything down.
Here comes Pulisic, ball into the area, deflection straight into the arms of Emi Martinez.
Yeah, even in the 90th minute, 90-plus minutes, he's still harrying, chasing, forces a half mistake from Reece James, and then goes after the goalkeeper and gets a half block on it. He's led the line ever so well this evening, Ollie Watkins. He's been a constant thorn in Chelsea back 3.
3 minutes of added time to play. Chelsea 0, Aston Villa 2. It will be 5 Premier League games unbeaten for Villa for the first time since December 2020. That 5th game was a 1-1 draw here at Stamford Bridge against Chelsea. This is going to be a victory unless Chelsea can find 2 goals in the last 2.5 minutes. It's not going to happen for Graham Potter's side. Villa have won the ball back on halfway. John McGinn, deflection, goes out for a Chelsea throw. Just going back to what you said about Chelsea going back to square one, I was just thinking that as you said it, Danny. From what we've it's so hard to analyse them really because of the inconsistency, but is it square one, is it square 2, is it square 3? Have we seen enough of a bit of positivity. It's a late challenge there on Madueke by Luca Digne. He's going to get a yellow card here. It's a free kick to Chelsea, level with the penalty spot, wide right position. Danny.
Yeah, Luca Digne there, no need, just slides right through. Madueke there, gives a silly foul away. Difficult, dangerous situation for Aston Villa to defend here, but it's all about results, Vic, at the end of the day. They need to get results. You know, Graham Potter, this is probably the biggest club he's ever managed. The pressure to get results. Chelsea expected to win nearly every single game. And at the minute, he isn't doing that with the quality that he has in this squad. It's quite simply not good enough.
Free kick for Chelsea, trailing by 2-0 in the dying stages. Reece James plays it in again. Villa get first contact with Callum Chambers this time. Conor Gallagher picks it up left-hand side of the penalty area, under pressure from Leon Bailey. He's done really well there, Leon Bailey. Although Andy Madley says he's eventually committed a foul on Conor Gallagher. He's just trying to delay the taking of this free kick. Dortmund have got a couple of goals back against Thomas Tuchel's Bayern Munich. 4-2 Bayern still lead. It's in the closing stages of that match in Germany. Closing stages here. Again, there's a bit of pushing and shoving because Villa are trying to delay this Chelsea free kick. But Chelsea just need to not get drawn into this. Ashley Young's involved once again, using that experience. The game is almost up for Chelsea into the final minute of added time. They trail by 2-0. Even a goal now, surely it's just a consolation, and scant consolation it would be. Free kick swung in from the left-hand side. Ollie Watkins wins the header for Villa. Comes out to James, plays it into Conor Gallagher. Bit of space, pulls the ball back across. Koulibaly's in there. Villa again get first contact, and CHEAVL blazes over on the angle. It's not happening for Chelsea.
We've seen that 4 or 5 times from Ben Chilwell this afternoon. Same type of finish, over the bar, and he looks disillusioned, Graham Potter. You can understand why, but let's give credit to Aston Villa. This has been an outstanding away performance. Never easy picking up points on the road in the Premier League, but this is going to be their 5th win away from home in the last 7 games, so maybe we shouldn't be too surprised, Vicky, at this result.
Goal kick to Aston Villa, and time has been played. We wait for Andy Madley to blow his whistle in the centre circle. He takes a look at his watch, and there it is, and listen to the reaction around Stamford Bridge. Cheers from the Villa contingent, but boos from the Chelsea fans, because all that momentum that Chelsea have been building before the international break has been stopped short. Pressure back on Graham Potter. They had chances to get back into this game, but they didn't take them. And Aston Villa have been simply superb. A beautiful chip from Ollie Watkins in the first half, an even better goal from John McGinn in the second. Best part of 25 yards, bottom corner, Danny Gabardon. Villa was simply superb, and that's not just tonight, that's under Emery in general.
You're spot on, Vicky. I think Unai Emery is building something here with his Aston Villa players. Fantastic result on the road that is for Aston Villa. They've been in good away form, but never easy coming to Stamford Bridge, and the quality that Chelsea have. But 2 outstanding goals, the tactical changes from Emery second half when they're 1-0 up, just to try and control the game a bit more out of possession. They then get the second goal with their first attack of the second half, and I just thought the way they kind of managed the game after that limited the Chelsea chances. Emi Martinez was busy first half, didn't have a lot to do second half, and Chelsea in the end ran out of ideas. Graham Potter's ringing the changes, trying to make something happen, and it just didn't, did it? But Chelsea had enough chances on another day to have scored 5 or 6 goals. But as I said, the game is won in both boxes. You can have all the possession you want, you can create chances. If you don't stick them away, and then if you don't defend correctly the other end, it doesn't matter who you come up against in the Premier League, a top team or a bottom team, you're going to get turned over. And that's exactly what we saw with Chelsea this afternoon. So back to the drawing board for Graham Potter again, I'm afraid. Looked like he was starting to get him going, but that's a poor result, and the fans let him know about it at the end.
Villa had their chance